I can't quite decide if I am excited or frightened. Both of the level itself and of pretty much finishing the game and the series. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Manic Miners for the 46th time or something to that rough degree. My goodness gracious, we have been on a very long journey together, but I think we are in the last mile of the marathon. I have absolutely no idea how long this is going to take. I have no idea how many attempts this is going to take, but I have nothing planned this evening and nothing to do tomorrow, so here we go. It is time for the remastered
Rocky Horror,
if you can believe it. However, before we get to that, somebody very rightly pointed out when we were playing Back to Basics that I totally forgot you can pet the slugs and that I didn't pet any of the big slugs. So I went back and I corrected that. Alright, now if you would be so kind as to sort of get out of that a little bit, there we are, and then no, I know you wish to have sandwiches, but there are bigger fish to fry. My goodness gracious. Bloody hell. I'm less patting its back and more grasping the side of its tail. My goodness, it's so big, it's cutting through the ceiling. I have found this is actually a brilliant tactic because it completely immobilizes the slug. You can just sit here spamming the E button in order to pet it, and then the slug can't do anything. So this totally immobilizes the slugs, and then everybody can stand around shooting it in the face for as long as is necessary. I'm going to go inside the slug. Oh look, the little baby slug is being born. How fascinating. It's like a documentary, although slightly more disgusting. You enjoyed that, did you? That's nice. I'm glad you're having a nice time. I want to do this in first person. Oh my goodness, great. Oh, I see, you just kind of clip through the whole thing. Yeah. There we are. Pat, pat, pat. I'd give you head pats, except I can't reach all the way up there. Bloody hell. That's a hell of an image. Those big hypnotic eyes. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. Back to your scheduled programming. So with that little loose end tied up, we have no excuse but to address the elephant in the room. I reckon it'll be as big as an elephant too.
Rocky Horror.
Here we go.
This is it, Rock Raider. This is what it's all been building up to. We know there is an abundance of energy crystals deep in the caverns around our Rock Raider HQ. The scanners show that there are rock monsters all over the place. This mission will be your toughest yet, but it must succeed if we're to escape from the planet and return home. Establish the Rock Raider HQ as a formidable outpost and transport the most powerful mining machinery you can. You'll need all of it if you are to collect the 50 energy crystals that we still need. Take care down there, Rock Raider.
Alright, is this the first mission brief that's ever been long enough we've had to scroll in it? My goodness gracious. The scanners show there is an enormous energy signature just north of this area. We suspect it could be an enormous cache of crystals. We need you to investigate the source, as we need all the power we can get. It would benefit you to construct a geological center and to try to locate any spacious caverns nearby. Indeed, what's this orange blob? If it's eroding lava, I am going to be very grumpy. Also, there was another comment on the last video, the Back to Basics video, which I was very grateful to receive, a comment by the developer of the game, which is a great honour to know that they have taken time out of their day to watch my pokey attempt to play their game. They said, if you haven't tried random crashes, you should give them a go. And I never have, because I don't like wasting my time. I don't like spending 2 hours getting halfway through a mission only to die or have the game crash. But hey, maybe something interesting happens when they crash. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn those on in a minute. Yep, it's eroding lava. Well, screw my life. That's not the options. These are the options. Right. Where's the... Where even is that? Hang on a minute. Let me come out of this. Let me pause the game and then go into the settings menu, which actually pauses it, because you can go into settings without pausing things, which confuses the hell out of me, but never mind. Where are the random crashes? Here we are. Random crashes. Enabled, disabled. Right. Here we are. Random crashes are a rare commodity in the modern age. It depends how crap your computer is if you're anybody like me. But it was very common in the original Lego Rock Raiders. If you want to enable random crashes, select Enable and see lucrative subscription options for the random crashes experience. Estimated delivery is 40 minutes, so we'll not crash out immediately. Ah. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to get like... Okay, I'm going to use this as an excuse. We'll get 40 minutes into the level, I'll bugger everything up, it'll crash, we'll go back to the start, and I can do it again better, right? What does this say? Please unpause to proceed. Pausing disrupts our patented, innovative, Brickanuva anti-tempering, anti-consumer technology, which is required when changing... I didn't even get a chance to read that. What are you talking about? Are you happy now? Okay, fine. Timer bar? What the hell is that? A speed... Oh, I see. Oh, I see. It's counting up. I thought it was counting down. You worried me there for a minute. What? What's this as well? Power paths have to be updated one by one. Here you can choose to update them 4 at once, quick, or 10 at once. What? What in the world are you talking about? Power paths have to be updated? What do you mean updated? It's not bloody Android. Oh, never bloody mind. Let's... Oh no, I don't want to have to fight lava the whole way through. I really don't want to have to deal with lava the whole way through. I did remember to turn the recording on, didn't I? I did 2 audio tests at the start of this to make sure everything was running correctly, rather than 1, because this matters too much if I balls everything up. Right.
Build up base defences and transport powerful mining vehicles.
I'll do my best, Chief. I'll make you proud of me. Either that or I'll make an opening in senior leadership for someone else to come in and bugger this up. Right. Die! Oh, they're quite strong. But not strong enough. They'll still die. Okay. We'll kill them one at a time. Then we'll set up some power paths to try and deal with this erosion. And then... Actually, we might deal with the erosion first. Yes, I might do that. I might deal with that little pickle first, because I'm a bit worried about the rate at which this is eroding, because frankly it's, what's a good word for this? Inhuman? I mean, lava isn't human, but you know what one means, or maybe you don't, and I'm just talking bollocks. It wouldn't be the first time. Right, if you lot could sort of mend this... Well, never bloody mind then. If you could try and mend this before we all die. I like this as well. This is cute. This is cute, because this is like, do you want to deal with twice as much lava? Okay, well, if you... What was that I was saying about buggering up at the start and then, and then starting again afterwards with a slightly more informed position? I don't know. I really don't know, but I am absolutely certain there will be slugs to deal with, and I'm not surprised there's lava. I rather wish there wasn't, but I'm not surprised that there is, because they're going to want to pull out all the stops and make this as difficult as possible, as it well deserves. I need to build a support station. Yes, I need to do these things, and I need to do them quickly, and I need to get the hell on with life. But instead of getting the hell on with life, I play video games instead. Right. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay. I don't think the power path being powered makes any real difference to the erosion rate of the lava. I think that's a bit of a myth. So I am not going to fuss about that. Okay, let's get this ore back, then we can upgrade the power station, and then when we've done that we can get the basic setup for the support station going, and then once this last little bit of ore has been sorted out, I think I'm going to clear out the rest of these monsters, even though they are really rather girthy ones. But be dealt with they must. And then we are going to... we're going to regret that we didn't do this next weekend. For the first time in my life, I'm actually recording vaguely soon after the last session, and I'm sort of slightly wishing that I put this off longer. Right. Go and commence murderment. Okay, he seems to be of ordinary strength. This one, however, is going to be of inordinate strength, I am certain. Yes, I've also, while I was screwing around in Back to Basics to get that bit of footage of petting the slug, I also experimented with shooting the guns in first person, or third person even, which is something I think tried to do in the past, but I've usually completely screwed up by oh no, that piece was already gone, sorry. I thought that piece had just been eaten completely in like 10 seconds without me even noticing, which would have been a hell of a thing. Literally a hell of a thing. So I'm glad to see I was wrong about that. Oh, for goodness sake. And there's no recharge seam around here either. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, I noticed. Thank you. Please shoot him up the arse immediately. Thank you. Yes, I think you have to press X when you're in third person in order to bring out the gun, and then you can shoot. It also seems it's easier to shoot in first person than it is to shoot in third person, because you can see a little bit better what you're actually doing, and more specifically at whomst it is you are shooting. So we've got a couple of crystals. I'm going to take the power out of the teleport pad as well, because then that'll give us the 3 crystals we need to build it, and that can happen, and then all we've got to do is find another crystal to power it, and I'm not going for that one. I can't be bothered to deal with that much lava, as much as those 4 crystals would be very useful. Okay. Okay. I need to do a bit of reinforcement as soon as possible, really. Partly for the sake of not worrying, or not having to worry about landslides, but more specifically for reducing the number of monster spawn points. What I think I might also do is, if we find an area which doesn't have too many slug holes in it, I might relocate Rock Raider HQ over there. What was it I just opened my big fat features and was having a yammer about? Oh, we've already got a spare crystal for powering up. Oh, marvellous. Oh, marvellous. I didn't realise. Right, I'm going to repair all of this. I'm just going to set erosions to repair when they get to their second stage, because I can't really be bothered to deal with any delays, and I know there will be delays because of things like this. Yes, there we are. So everybody can get back on with what they were doing, and while they're doing that, I'm going to bring down some more people. This might also be a situation where I have to bring down a yeesh. I don't know what a yeesh is, but I wouldn't recommend that you bother bringing one down from the LMS Explorer, because I'm supplying quite enough of them on my own. Could somebody go and like do the other bit for this, please? Do I have to do everything myself around here? The answer to that question would seem to be, I mean, it is a management game, not a let everybody else get the hell on with it game. Marvellous. Oh, blimey, everyone's getting bashed around the head with a boulder. Right, we've got 10 people, 8 of whom have guns, which is good enough for me. So I am going to do a clean sweep of reinforcements. I'm going to reinforce every single thing that could fall down and every single thing that could spawn a monster out of it, because I want to control where and when monsters appear, so that I don't have to deal with cheeky chappies like that one over there. Oh, shush. I don't wish to know about your slimy slug holes. frankly cannot think of anything more disgusting. I mean, monsters will still be able to spawn here and here and here and here if, like in Back to Basics, this level is capable of spawning a multitude of different enemy or monster types, and it's willing to spawn both rock monsters and lava monsters. If it's willing to do that, then we're going to have a bigger problem on our hands than we previously thought. I should reinforce that bit so we can... Oh, shush! I know that. Just wait for a few more of these to get sorted out so that the time that they spent getting there was wasted. Oh, blimey. Ow, blimey! Yes, thank heavens you went for the slug first. If we don't find a recharge scene, we're going to be in a jam. And not the pleasant sort that one puts upon one's toast in the morning. The sort of jam that leaves you scratching your head and wishing you'd stayed in bed. Right. Okay, they talked about using a geological center, so I'm going to have a look on... Oh, that's interesting. Look, you can see little bits of orange suggesting it's eroding. That's interesting. I've never noticed that before. Fascinating that I can... Ow, blimey. No, thank you. Interesting that this game can still catch me off guard and show me things I've not seen before. Yes, I think an energy crystal seam would be most handy, and that a... Thank you. And, words and stuff like that I can't think of. That's not what I meant at all. Yeah, I want to be careful I don't break down anything that's going to expose me to any monsters too quickly, because the regular monsters that are spawning don't seem to have increased health. However, I have no reason to believe that the sleeping monsters that we find in the caverns will be any different from the sleeping monsters that we encounter at the start of the game, and therefore be stronger. They're not tremendously difficult to deal with, but they are strong enough to require a few boots on the ground. Oh, blimey. This is quickly going to become an issue. I did notice when I was scooting through a little bit more of Back to Basics to make that bit of footage. I did notice that the spawn rate of the slugs seemed to be more dependent than I had realised on the number of crystals you have, because I was just sort of rolling through, because the only thing I was trying to do was get to the big slug in order to see it. So I ended up with something like 12 crystals at one point, and at that moment quite a lot of slugs started to spawn. They spawned quite quickly, versus a few moments later when I brought down a few trucks, because I was trying to scoot some resources around and out of the way a little bit faster. The slugs then seemed to drop off quite quickly, so it did seem that the slugs were very dependent on the number of crystals that you have at any given time. And the fact that they're spawning this often, and they're not spawning a lot at the moment, but they are spawning enough. Boop. 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 Tremendous. A tremendous trifecta of boops. Yeah, the fact that they're already spawning this much is troublesome. I am going to struggle to decide what I should get, or what I should do, or what I should use, or which direction I should go. Oh, blimey. There was never this, as I'm sure you well remember. Oh, blimey, Jet. Oh, I hope there's a good health insurance plan on the LMS Explorer's contract. There probably isn't, but I hope that there is. Mind you, Lego Healthcare is probably really easy, because, you know, if anyone's going to excel at the hand transplant, it's going to be the Lego people. Alright, let's stop beating around the bush and get the hell on with life, shall we? Yes, of course, obviously before you had the sort of big open oval at the start, and then you pretty much just had to make a beeline to the very end if you wanted to. But I don't think we're going to have anything be quite that simple this time around. I'm also keeping a vague eye on the recording duration so that I can know roughly when my 40 minutes are up. Because at the moment I'm treating most of this as just a kind of test run. This is just it doesn't really matter because it's probably all going to get destroyed later, and we're going to have to redo it. I am a little bit curious though by what the developer meant by "you should try it," because that makes me think that there's something more to it than just, oh, it, you know, freezes and then, you know, it kicks you back to the desktop and that's the end of the matter. Because there must be something more to it than that, otherwise they wouldn't say that. Unless they're just a massive internet troll and they're saying that in order to make me think that so that I'll turn it on, and then I'll get there and realise that actually there's nothing special about the crashes, there's no secrets, there's no Easter eggs, nothing of any interest. It's just somebody being a douchebag. Which, you know, if that's fine, then fine. You know, if I fall for it, then that's my own fault. But I am curious nonetheless to see what happens, even if it's just me being proved to be a dupe. We shall see. We shall see. I'm not really sure what interesting or clever things you could actually feed into a random crash. The most interesting thing with respect to crashing I can think of is Batman Arkham Asylum and the encounter with Scarecrow, where it pulls a fake crash on you and then makes you think that it's restarted your game, and then that your controller's broken and you can't beat a QuickTime event, which, if you ask me, is a very creative way of doing things. And I know a lot of like little indie horror games and things have tried to do something similar over the years. Although I'm not sure anybody's pulled it off with quite the same level of panache that was achieved all those years ago. Right, let's bash our way through here and have a look at this monster. What is there to be seen? A big lump. A big lump of monster. Just let a few people put that all away. There we go. Onward march, soldiers. Oh my goodness, he's actually I'm not sure he is any stronger. I think it's just there's fewer people shooting him at the moment. There we go. I like how the only pacifists on the team at the moment are a ghost and an old man. Good. Someone who's too old to be conscripted and someone who's already died on the field of battle. If I remember correctly, I got the ghost outfit because like 25 Rock Raiders died or something, which was a horrible statistic. Although, frankly, I'm surprised that number wasn't reached any earlier. Blimey. Yes, this is an issue. This is an issue because I want a mining laser in order to deal with that situation, but I am concerned about putting it somewhere where it's going to have good coverage. I guess that's going to have to do. Yeah, I guess that's going to have to do because I'm not convinced.
The younger generation have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm actually more concerned about letting the younger generation shoot, and I'm more worried about your arthritis. So I'd rather you just listen to me and got the hell on with matters. Yes, I think because if these are the only two sluggles I've got to worry about right now, then if the slugs come out of here and I either go for that or that, I should be able to hit them. If they go for the power station, I should be able to shoot them. If they go for the support station, I'll be slightly screwed. But we'll get there, because right now I don't want to be pulling all the men off mining just for the sake of dealing with one more slug. So, yeah. And I've shot the power station enough last time, and earlier this evening I managed to shoot it by accident a couple of times as well. But, I mean, that definitely didn't happen, because it wasn't recording at the time, and if it wasn't recorded, it didn't happen. That's one of the old rules of the internet, isn't it? If you don't have photos, then it didn't happen. I'm gonna leave that side, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that side of things, I think. I'm just gonna deal with one side of the map at a time, because I don't want to be splitting people or having people constantly walking from one end of the map to the other end of the map. So, I am gonna leave that to its own devices for the time being. Added to, if it does crash and we have to come back in, then there's no reason I can't go off to that side that time around in order to allow us to kind of get on with things straight away, rather than there being a big jump cut while I try and get us back and rebuild some of the progress we had before. We've got a mining laser. We might as well actually use it for mining for once instead of... That's weird. I've never seen it take that long to hit a piece of hard rock before. There's a piece of hard rock I can shoot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it does take exactly that long. I was wondering if it was the reinforcement I'd put on it that was changing it. That would seem a little strange. But no, it seems that in fact it was just that not powerful. I guess I'm so used to using the large mobile laser cutter that I've forgotten what it's like to use the mining laser. So I'll set this all to mine out, although I do want to try and get a large mobile laser cutter, because there's a lot to do and a lot of map to see, but we'll get there. We will get there eventually. Like I said, I ain't got nothing planned for tomorrow, so it doesn't matter how late I have to stay up doing this. I'm also trying to start this slightly earlier than usual. There's something interesting on the other side of that, isn't it? Yeah, another frickin' lava river. Great! I love me a lava river! Yeah, we've not encountered any other slug holes yet, so I wonder if it might be possible to move my base away from the slugs so that I don't have to deal with them with the same level of attention that I do at the moment. I know that was something that I could have and probably should have done in Back to Basics, but I didn't. Right, I'm going to turn that off, I'm going to turn that off. That gives me 5, so I need a bit more. Do you mind not doing that, you dummy? I know people say, you know, oh, I have concerns about the elderly driving because of their eyesight, and you know, all these big questions about, oh, should people have to retake their driving tests after, you know, passing whatever age. But if you can't even see a bit of dynamite going off in front of your car, then yeah. I think it becomes uncontroversial at that point that you should have to either reset your driving test or just have a new pair of spectacles prescribed, because dynamite must be quite difficult to miss. Right, before I knock down that seam, I'm going to reinforce these walls so that we don't have any more monsters spawning out, and then I am going to do something else that was recommended by smart people who wrote smart comments, and that is to build outposts of tool stores so that they don't have to transit the ore, especially, and also the crystals to a lesser extent, quite so far. So I pop this down here, they won't have to pick up all this ore and then cart it all the way over here and then cart themselves all the way back. They can simply get the hell on with life, which I think will make stuff a bit more efficient. Yes, indeed. Oh, for goodness sake. Right. Let me just, maybe I should shoot the chief in the eye with a laser. Maybe that would fix the problem. I'm sure that wouldn't make it considerably worse. Right, I think we are safe to open this seam, and then that will give us enough crystals, I think, that we can get a large vehicle. We've also got lots of ore, so we can upgrade it straight away. And then we may proceed with a greater level of aplomb than we have thus far been doing. Let's knock all of this down. Make some good progress here. No crystals in any of this though, which is a bit of a shame. Okay. So there's a cavern off in that direction. And something behind here. To this sort of corner of the map. I'm very conscious of this lava here, which presumably is the bum end of this river, which I'd rather not get involved with if I can avoid it for the sake of dodging the responsibility of lava erosion. Right, let us upgrade this thing, which is what we actually need to do, and then get a large mobile laser cutter, and then turn that off, and then turn that on, and then turn that off. I should probably set up some fence, actually. That would probably be a sensible thing to do, wouldn't it? Who are we going to put in there? Let's put me in there, because putting me in charge of heavy machinery when I don't even have a rudimentary qualification in operating it doesn't sound like a tremendous idea. But we don't do a lot of tremendous ideas around here. We mostly do stupid ones. So, let's get on with it. Okay, let's get this upgraded. Is there regular sized slugs? I've always thought the slugs were quite big compared to the people. Or maybe just big compared to real slugs. But, bloody hell, those huge ones from Back to Basics, they are a whole different breed. Right. Let's do a bit of shooting, shall we? Yes. I don't really know where I should pick. I suppose I'm going to pick here, so that I can see what's in this cavern for no particular good reason. Hello? Who's here? No, nobody. Nothing. That's a shame. Somebody's given me the wrong address for the party. It wouldn't be the first time. Actually, it would be the first time, because goodness knows I'm not sociable enough to know people that throw parties. Do you mind being slightly less aggressive, sir? That's a little tiny bit rude, you're being. I'm a little bit more worried about this bandit. Right, there we go. Okay. I don't know, I'm slightly hesitant to just progress. Because with every second that passes, we are getting closer and closer to that 40 minutes. That 40 minute time. Which I'm sure isn't exact, right? Like, oh, interesting. Interesting. I know I could get rid of this one, can't I? Because he'll wake up, he'll have no crystals to eat or anything to destroy or anywhere to go, so he'll just leave. This is the trick we learned in I Spy, I think. So I'm going to take advantage of that while I can. Yes. Maybe we should also employ at some point the trick that... Why do they always manage to come together? Why do they manage to be so well organised? Yes, I know, and it's a massive issue because we don't have a bloody recharge scene within about 16 parsecs. But never mind. Yeah, I really need to relocate the base. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm sure that the time for the... crash is not exactly 40 minutes. There'll be a little bit of RNG there in order to randomize it and make it slightly less predictable. I'm sure of that. I think it would be daft to do otherwise. But you know, it's got to happen eventually. It's got to happen eventually, and I am certain that when it does happen, I will be cheesed off. I shouldn't be, because I'm the only reason it's going to happen. But all the same. All the same. So yeah, I'm slightly sort of hesitant of getting too far, because I then know there's going to be like a big gap while I sort that out. Not for you, obviously. You just jump straight back into it. You don't have to pay the cost. But I I do. This really bears no resemblance to the original map, does it? I remember the original map, and this has nothing to do with it. I played Rocky Horror many times in the bollocks. Well, now we know there's lava monsters. The question is, does all of that lava erode the same way that all of this lava erodes? I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised if it does. Oh, please tell me it doesn't erode. Just tell me it's lovely static lava that doesn't erode. Because my fear is that when it crashes and when I come back, I'm going to have the opportunity to make the decision to not go in there. And I think that's a decision I may well be a coward enough to make. But we will see. We will see. Only time will tell. If it doesn't erode, then I think I can live with this. If it does erode, then we have more of a jam on our hands. So I will withhold judgment until we see what... No, it's eroding. It's eroding. Okay, right. That's an interesting situation to be in. Well, I mean, not really. Oh, that's good. You can actually sort of stop them from eating it even when they're like halfway through. That's interesting. Right. I could get more trucks down. I probably should get more trucks down, but I don't really want to have fewer guns on the ground, and I can't really be bothered to get another support station and bring down any more. This is going to make things interesting. In a certain way, this is a very interesting way to play the game, because I can be a little bit more gung-ho about this and not really care about things like, oh, well, you know, if I lose all of this land to the lava, you know, I don't really care, I'll just come back and do it again. Imagine if we get the whole way to the left and it doesn't crash. I can't decide if I'd like that or not. Die. Thank you. I can't decide if that would make me really happy or really angry. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I'm so completely at a loss. I feel like I have to work my way through this area now, because if I don't, then all the lava's going to work its way through, and we're going to lose sort of access to various bits of land, which is going to be an issue. So, yeah, I feel like I sort of have to carry on. I have to carry on with this, don't I? Yes, I think that I do. Presumably this won't erode, otherwise it would have by now. It must just be certain squares. It must be that you title certain squares as whether or not they are erodable. That would probably be the simplest way to program it, I should think. Says a man who's got no frickin' idea how to program anything. I'm lucky if I can even define the value of a variable in Python. It's about as far as my knowledge goes when it comes to coding, so you'll forgive me if I'm talking about something I have no understanding of whatsoever. But I would think it would be easier to code just this square of land can erode or it can't erode. And then it would be a case of, if there's lava next to it, then it erodes. And if there's not lava next to it, then it doesn't erode. Rather than it being like, you know, this square of lava can cause erosions to these squares that are around it. Surely it would be easier just to define certain tiles of land as erodable or not erodable. I think that would be the simplest way to do it. Ah, okay. So we do have a recharge scene in the middle of a lava lake, which is going to make it real interesting to deal with, because they're going to have to walk drained crystals about 6 miles in order to recharge them. But okay. If that's how it goes, then I guess that's the situation we're going to have to live with. Or more specifically, die with. At least if you're a spider. Oh, blimey. Maybe it is a good idea to not worry about the erosion of like this island here, and just basically get in, get the crystals, and get the hell out. Kind of take a Lake of Fire mentality to it, and just tear the crystals out of the land as quickly as humanly possible and say to blazes with everything else. Literally. Literally, let it all burn down. That's not actually what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the truck to pick up that last crystal, but never mind. I'm just watching the radar to see when he actually gets back. Never mind, he's probably back by now. Right, yeah, because this bit of land is basically already dead and buried. And there's clearly something of interest over there that I'd like to have a look at, but in fairness, there's not that much map. Maybe a little bit. Yes. Oh, I don't bloody know. Oh, I don't know anymore. I'm just... this was a stupid plan. This was a stupid plan. I'm a stupid, stupid man. Never mind. Never mind any of that. That was a bizarre reference to make, but okay, here we are. Okay, there's a much more reasonable recharge scene. Well, a bit more reasonable anyway. It's still far too near the lava, by which I mean it is in a level in which there is eroding lava, which makes it too close for comfort as far as I am concerned. But alright. Yeah. Maybe if we do this again the second time around, if everything is lovelier the second time around, then perhaps, just perhaps, everybody will collect the crystals on foot instead of letting the truck do them, which is a really efficient division of labour. Oh, blimey. Yeah, maybe if we do this the second time around, I could sort of leave that area till last. As I say, it's not done me that much harm. Can you please just focus on the crystals and leave the ore alone? I know they don't want to make this like too much of a too complicated, I guess, of a strategy game, because then I think that would take it away from what the original game was, which I think is very important to the developer to maintain that, and rightly so. But what the hell was that? Never mind. But bloody hell. But if you wake up your friend, we will have words. None of them will be polite. Yeah, blimey, this thing's taking a lot of damage. Yeah, but if there's any one thing I would pick to have, it would be different priorities for vehicles and for men. So that men can get ore, vehicles can get crystals, and they can leave each other's resources alone. That's the one thing. That's the only one additional complication to the mechanics I would be happy with. Everything else I feel like we don't need to worry about. But maybe just that one thing. Alright, what can we see on ye old map? Nothing is the answer, because we have to look at this bit of the map, where we have a little beast to deal with. I'm sort of surprised they haven't got any more frequent, actually. So my initial theory about them being more sensitive, given that they were spawning earlier, actually doesn't seem to be the case, because they seem to still be spawning at the same rate as before, which is quite curious. Yes. And would add all the more credence to the strategy of relocating Rock Raider HQ to somewhere further away from the slug holes, so that you don't have to deal with the slugs quite so much. Yes, I think that would be sensible. My goodness gracious! You know what they remind me of, oddly? It's like the uniform of like an American football player with those like big padded shoulders. There's just something about the way their shoulders sort of go up that really reminds me of that for some bizarre reason. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant and of no interest to anybody, I am sure. Right, I think... We just ticked over 42 minutes. gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna happen. I've got no idea what it's gonna look like. I'm sure it's gonna happen. Oh, blimey. I don't know. It almost feels like cheating to do this, like, twice over. I kind of wish if there's anything interesting to see in the random credits, I rather wish I'd known earlier and could have done it on something slightly less important. But I feel as if this is a very important mission, which I would like to do well and not feel like I'm being sneaky with it. And I don't know, if I screw it up and then I have to, oh sheesh, if I they're draining power. I didn't notice there was a bloody slug. Right, at least they do have a recharge seam. Hey, bastard. You little bastard. I'd rather a truck did that, but maybe I should just get some more trucks. Maybe I should just get some more blooming trucks. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, let's get a couple more trucks. Come on, then. Yeah, at least we do have a way of recharging crystals now, which is good, but this map is big. This map is big, and it doesn't actually have a tremendous number of crystals in it, at least not yet. Well, they're saying now we have got quite a lot tied up in vehicles and buildings and stuff, haven't we? So maybe I'm being a little unfair to the level. But no, I feel as if this is a test, right? And maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a daft game that we're playing. But I feel like it's this is just sat here being landslided on all afternoon, isn't it? Damn it. Yes, I feel as if this is a test. A test of my ability to play this game, and to play it well and not balls it up. As much as if you wanted to see this game be played well, I'm sure there are a dozen other people on this website who are playing it much better than I am. But, all the same, I should shoot them when they're coming out of the wall. Yes, I don't want to feel like I'm taking the easy way out with this by crashing and then making a load of different decisions. And like, oh, okay, well now I'm gonna put the power path in earlier so that I maintain this square. Although in fairness, this hasn't been as much of an issue as I thought it would be. So on that basis, I'm gonna shoot this. Actually, I'm not gonna do that because there's gonna be nobody here to deal with that. We might do it differently next time, but we're not going to do it differently this time because it would just take forever for anybody to get over here and be able to help with that situation. I can see what they mean about getting a geological center, but this map is so bloody huge, I'm not entirely sure it would do any good. Because surely it wouldn't go any further than like this, would it? I can't remember exactly how far a fully upgraded geological center goes. Oh well, maybe we'll get one next time, just for the hell of it. Yes, I know I've screwed up a few of the levels. I Spy especially. And the I Spy and Lava Loft video was an interesting one because in I Spy I just stuck to old-fashioned tactics and they blew up in my face completely and perfectly correctly because that was a very an inappropriate way of playing the game because, you know, when games have different mechanics, you have to apply different strategies to them. If you play a game one way, and then its sequel comes along, and you play it in exactly the same way, you have nobody to blame but yourself if you balls it up a bit, because if when the rules of the game change, the way you play the game has to change as well. So I suppose it was just my nostalgia that was trying to draw me back to old-fashioned methods of playing. Okay, that's getting a bit worse. That's getting a little bit worse than I would like. But, you know, it doesn't matter, because I'm sure it's going to crash in about 15 seconds, and then, the trucks are doing a really good job, actually, of dealing with the repairs. Maybe it wouldn't be too arduous, then, to actually put some power path in place to kind of curtail this erosion. I'm not entirely sure. It's always a trade-off between how much effort do you want to put in and how much do you stand to lose if the erosion occurs successfully. And at the moment, I am wondering if, as much as there's not a great deal that stands to be lost, bloody hell, these monsters are becoming a pain in my bum. If I actually set up some fence, I wouldn't really need to worry about them, but, well, I guess they'd still go after that, wouldn't they? Blimey. You know what, just the people can deal with it. The people can deal with it. Oh, bloody hell, a good leader delegates. No, don't go after that one, Jet, please. Go after this one. There we go. Don't go after the big one. I'll deal with him in a minute. But for right now, I need the rest of you focused on the little monsters. There we are. And by little monsters, I mean perfectly ordinarily sized monsters. It's just that we found these massive sharing bag-sized monsters. Bloody hell. I don't know if it's an indication of my lack of social standing. Or my... bloody hell. Or more of an indication of my, where did that monster come from? Or more of an indication of my, I'm stuck in a corner. Or more of an indication of my appalling diet, but I've never bought a share bag. You know, any of these things, like a big bag of, I don't know, crisps or chocolates or whatever, and it, you know, it's like more to share, perfect to share, perfect for sharing, all these, you know, crap they write on these things to sort of suggest you're not supposed to eat the entire bag on your own in one sitting on the sofa while crying, but I do anyway. So yeah, maybe all of you go out to the shops and you buy these sharing sized bags and then you share them with people. I don't, I just scoff the lot. So I'm a hungry and sad bastard. I don't know why I'm amusing myself with that concept so much, but I am. It's nice to speak freely about these things. Right, I need to do some repairs on all of this. There we are. How are we getting on over here? Yes, indeed. Okay, so this stuff doesn't erode. Okay, so this middle bit is safe. It's just this sort of pathway down here that's more it's more damaging. It's alright, I think I see something moving there, but I clearly can't. It's probably just a reflection of the light caught in my lenses. Right, oh, bloody hell. The level of monster spawns is pretty high. I mean, to be honest, this is not nearly as difficult as I expected. When I saw that there was eroding lava, I expected it to be a lot more aggressive than it has been. I was expecting there to be a lot more monsters, and for them to be stronger, and for them to be spawning faster, and I thought the slugs would be absolutely hounding at my door, and they haven't been. So, thus far, things haven't been too difficult. If there's like a 50-foot tall, 5,000 health point lava monster inside the cavern that's going to be full of like 500 energy crystals, and it's a case of, can you kill the monster before the monster eats all of the crystals? Then that will be an interesting question to see an answer to. But that is a question to be answered later. For right now, we need to let him die and get rid of that message. And then I think I am actually going to come over here and carry on mining in this direction, just because there are so many monsters spawning out of here that frankly it's getting on my nerves a little bit. It's interesting. I think you could draw a sort of bell-shaped pattern where along the x-axis you have the amount of time it has been since I turned on random crashing, and on the y-axis is my concern about it crashing imminently. And the closer and closer we get to the 40 minutes, the closer and closer we get to the peak of the bell, and then the longer it has been beyond 40 minutes, then the more I begin to think that... Okay, I'm going to be sneaky again. I'm going to be sneaky again and try and get rid of some of these monsters without actually having to fight them, because at this point I really can't be bothered. yeah, which makes me think either that it's just the RNG is going to bless me and it's not going to happen, or that I've somehow ballsed it up and not done it correctly and it's just not going to crash. If we get like 5 minutes before the end of the level and it crashes, then sorry, I'm not doing it again. I've got my limits. I have got my human limits. There's only so much bollocks I can deal with. And if that's the amount that this game wants to give me, then fair enough. Right. I'm going to do something that I didn't think I was going to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. I am going to rebuild Rock Raider HQ, and I'm going to rebuild it over here. Yeah. And rebuild Rock Raider HQ because I want to get it further away from the slugs. Because I think that it's only fair for me to continue to operate under the assumption that it's not going to crash, because I don't think it's right for me to play the game differently because I've turned the crashing on, and kind of treat this as like a it doesn't matter playthrough of this level, because that's just, I don't think that's any fun. So I'm going to assume that this is a perfectly legitimate play, and that we need to do this with some level of seriousness. So they're going to sort out... Oh, it's happened. Oh, it's not happened! Oh, the game just bloody froze! I actually thought by tempting fate it had finally happened. I thought fate had finally said, "Oh, you're that much of a teaser, are you? Well, two can play at that game." Well, yes, fate, two can play at that game, and you got me. You got me good. The game just randomly decided to freeze for a few seconds. I'm not sure it's ever done that before, so that was interesting. That was interesting. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we're gonna carry on. We're gonna carry on like nothing happened, like everything's fine, like there's nothing to worry about, like I really cannot aim and turn at the same time. Shoot you in your big bouldery buttocks. If you kind of die, that would be tremendously kind of you. Thank you very much. Oh, goodness, that took a few years off my life expectancy, that shock. Right. Yeah, now that we've got this area vaguely cleaned out, I'm going to rebuild Rock Raider HQ over here. I'm also going to drill out some stuff in this direction to try and minimise opportunities for monsters to spawn, and just sort of generally push the frontier back a little bit. So, I guess they're going to have to walk all the way over with all the barriers and things, aren't they? Well, in that case, I suppose I should start with my I suppose I should start with my teleport pad in that case, shouldn't I? Not teleport pad, tool store. You'd think after playing this game for goodness knows how many years, somewhere in the region of 15, I should think, which is a slightly terrifying concept. As in, you know, this game and the original taken as one is what I'm trying to say. You'd think I'd have learned the bloody difference between the teleport pad and the... How much this land is flat enough to build on? I've not been a smarty pants, I've been a stupid pants. Well, that's fine. It wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last time. Yeah, that'll do well. It don't have to look beautiful, it just has to do the job. What was I talking about? Yeah, you'd think after all these years I'd have learned the bloody difference. You'd think I'd have learned the bloody difference between the tool store and the teleport pad. And yeah, I haven't. I still struggle to remember the difference between the names of the Tunnel Scout and the Tunnel Transport, but I take slightly less shame in that because of the tunnel transport being such a minor part of the original game and being such a much more significant part of this game. So it's trying to fit new information into an old existing data set, which I imagine is more difficult. This is a good spot for a base actually, because there's a recharge seam just there I've noticed, which is a nice it's a nice little benefit, isn't it? Right, I need one of these, and then I need a support station and a mining laser. So I'm going to put my power path there. I'm also going to set up some fence. I think that would be a good idea. Bit like that, I should think. Yes, that should clear the worst of it away. We'll come back to all of this later. But, yeah. I need my upgrade station as well, aren't I? For doing repairs. Am I going to be able to put this anywhere convenient? Not really, no. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, pop that there, and then pop that there, and then that should be flat out to build, so we'll just put the upgrade station behind those two. Right, we shoot this monster in the face, or the armpit, or anywhere, frankly, so long as it's a vaguely vital organ, I will be a happy man. There we go. What are you doing? Can you get on with something, please, instead of just sitting there daydreaming? No, seems to be the answer to that question. Right, I'll do your job for you, shall I? Oh, shut up. I want to find out if I can recharge stuff on my own. No, would seem to be the short and long of that. Right, where's this one happening? Please die. Thank you very much. I appreciate your sacrifice. Okay, with that done, I just need to get my upgrade station, and then that's not what I wanted, but fine, let's have another truck. Let's have another truck. I've had a ghost writers, but never a ghost driver before. That is a new concept. Okay, I want an upgrade station, please, and thank you. And I am going to start getting rid of all this, because we don't need it anymore. They can come back and get all of these crystals and ore and things. Any monsters this morning are going to make a bloody beeline for all that. But never mind. Oh yeah, and they're far too busy doing this. Of course they are. Of course they frickin' are. Why are people just standing around? I don't understand. Why aren't they recharging crystals? Why aren't they putting ore away? Get the hell on with life. I am so confused as to what is going on with these people. When I said I wanted them to have different priorities, I didn't just mean lose all your priorities. That's not what I had in mind. Right, if you'd like to repair, please, and then you can have a couple of upgrades. And then I need to set up some more fence, or do some reinforcements or something. But I need to do something so that I don't have to deal with this, these bloody monsters spawning anymore. Yeah, there's just more and more caverns after this, so we're going to have to build a perimeter of fence. Yeah, again, I don't really care if this looks like a frickin' mess at this point. At this point, I'm not bothered. But yeah, look, now the slug has got to walk for miles in order to actually be a threat. So that's fine. It also sort of guarantees they'll come from this direction, which means they should attack only sort of this perimeter of the power station, which means they'll be easier to kill. And hopefully it will only do, say, it'll only spawn one slug at a time, and they'll only spawn, say, 2 minutes after the last slug despawned. So I can now buy myself another 30 seconds by the fact it's going to take the slug 30 seconds to get back to base camp and back to his slug hole in order to allow him to despawn. So hopefully this will slow down the sheer number of monsters, the sheer number of slugs that are spawning. That's my theory anyway. Goodness only knows if it's going to be accurate. It probably isn't, because very, very few things that I say are accurate. Okay. I think we are pretty much done with this quadrant of the map, if you like. Let's zoom out and have a little bit of a look at where we are. Bloody hell. We've done about a quarter. Yep, We've done about a quarter of the map. It's taken us an hour, and it may well take us an hour to get back this far when the game finally decides it wants to stop me from piddling about and actually kill me. I'm going to extend this line of fence in this direction to try and deal with this, because I want to keep these as two independent systems if I can, because of respawns on, or not respawns, you know what I mean, or maybe you don't know what I mean. Oh, for goodness sake, you're gonna wake up everyone, aren't you? No, you didn't wake up him, which frankly is a shock. Right, okay. Sorry, I have got the sniffles at the moment. Also got the increasingly hoarse voice. Oh, I see. You walked over there in order to wake up one friend, and then you walked over here in order to wake up another friend. I see. You're just a grade A cad. Lovely. That's what I like. Utter frickin' bastards. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, bloody hell. This is a real interesting pickle we've got ourselves in. I didn't think it was going to get that bad. I didn't think it was going to get that bad, but it did. And I don't have a super terrible bad. I'm a super idiot. Right, could everybody just calm their... No, they couldn't. What the hell? What? I've got 2 mining... When did I get 2 mining lasers? Oh, I see. They're strong enough to walk through the fence in the first place. Interesting. Okay, where's this other monster? About 3 miles away. That's fine. I can live with that. Okay, I have no memory of building a second thingamajig. Okay, now I've got to. Now I just wish the game would crash because I've balls up so much. I rather wish it would. It would take me back to the start, and I could scroll up slightly less. Right, let's just clear all of this out. Here we are. I know most of that was me just getting rid of my old base, but. It still worries me. Oh, blimey. Okay. Okay. The battle's not lost. We've just incurred a few more casualties than was expected. Oh, go away. Nobody cares. What am I missing? Probably that. What am I missing? Probably that. What am I missing? Probably that. Thank you. If I had to say that again, I'd look like a right chump. Right, there we are. Now, where's Mr. Sluggo? There's Mr. Sluggo. Get rid of him. Regardless of whether he is the maker of the slimiest cola in the galaxy. And I guess while we're waiting, we'll just have to mine with the mining laser. No more monsters in it. Good. I'm glad the monsters... Oh no, there is a monster there. I didn't see him. I'm glad the monsters don't have the sense to actively go around waking up sleeping monsters as much as I'm sure that's just because they're too bloody hungry to worry about such things. But oh sheesh, speaking of hunger. Speaking of hunger. Would you mind dying? Thank you. It's most inconvenient of you to live around here, so could you... What? What? Why wouldn't you... Oh, because there's nobody driving the blooming thing. Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? I'm surprised you even let me go in the upgrade menu. That's bizarre. Right, never mind. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep meandering along. We got a new base camp. We've got... actually, I've got an idea. I'm going to get rid of this piece. I'm going to get rid of this piece, thank you, and that piece. And that piece, there we are. Because what that's going to do is... balls up everything? Yeah, that's going to balls up everything. No. Well, it is, but what the goal of ballsing everything up was... What the goal of the plan that balls everything up was to make like 3 independent systems of fence, or 4 in fact actually, just on the off chance that we do have enemies attacking us from multiple different angles. because by sort of breaking it in the middle here, then this cooldown is independent of that one, is independent of that one, and is independent of that one. Right, you've been fully upgraded, so let's get on with things, shall we? Yeah, I don't really think there's any point in worrying about that. I know there's a little bit of wall over there I haven't mined out, and if we get to a point in about 6 hours when we can just kind of wander along with the intent of mining out the last few little bits of wall, then I will get a tunnel transport and carry the large mobilizer scanner under it in order to take it over there and see what's on the other side of it. But for the moment, I doubt it's going to be anything that is going to be worth the investment that it will take to get over there, so I'm not going to worry about that for the time being. What I am going to do, however, is deal with this monster. And then I might get... Oh, you've woken up another friend. Of course you have. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Are they going after... Okay, I was rather hoping they'd go after crystals that... That's fine. If it slows that monster down, that's good enough for me. Ouch. You just get the hell out of the way and then he can die on the fence. What I'm... Spin a lot of plates, haven't I? I rather wish the trucks had a kind of run the hell away from monsters the same way that the people do. At least some level of self-preservation to think, there's a big boulderous fist about to land on my face from up. Maybe I should pay attention to what I'm doing and go a different way. Says the guy who can't even pay attention to what direction he's shooting a blooming massive laser. Yuck. Right. I'm gonna get a loaded user, I think, and we'll put somebody in it. No, not you. Well, yes, you, because I don't... Why are people going to do that? Why are the trucks going to put one piece of ore down and then leave it for... Okay, well they didn't because they were sensible, but why have you gone and put one piece of ore down when you had others in your hold? It's so woefully inefficient. It makes me sad. Anyway, let's get on with life. Never mind any of that rubbish. Okay. Okay. Oh, for goodness sake. I'm getting sick of these ruddy monsters. I want to clear out this rock now just so that the monsters stop spawning for 5 minutes. I know I could go around just reinforcing everything like I was doing before, but I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how helpful that would be, because then they just spawn the moment I discovered a new bit of rock that they could climb out of. So I'm not really sure how much use it would be in the long run. At least I have enough uncertainty to convince myself that it's not worth trying. Put it that way. Oh, go away. I am rather surprised the slugs have been made so minor. I know there were slug holes in the original Rocky Horror, and I'm sure people were a bit confused about why the slugs never came out of them. I mean, Rocky Horror was generally not a very difficult level. That's probably one of the reasons why I replayed it so many times in the original game, and I just wanted a nice level to play, because Air Raiders and Rocky Horror are probably the two I'd pick most often in terms of just having a nice, reasonably long level that I could play just for the sake of fun rather than for the sake of getting through a new campaign. Not that I ever played the campaign start to finish for the sake of anything other than having fun, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, or maybe you don't. Either way, I'm not convinced it really matters, because I'm just whittering on and pressing all the wrong buttons. Right, I am going to... Where's he going to go? He's going to come over here. He's going to go for that crystal. Okay, fair enough. I can understand your motivations. Although I'm still going to... Okay, now you're just being rude. And I can't understand why anybody would have the motivation to do that. Although saying that, it is tremendous fun to be rude to people. At times, depending on the sort of person, it can be tremendously fun to be rude to them. If they're, say, I don't know, a yobbo on a motorcycle with an aftermarket exhaust. Being rude to them is tremendous fun. But monsters being rude to Bandit, that is not acceptable. I mean, on what planet could somebody have reason to be mean to Bandit? He's just such a cheery salt, with fascinating stories of the sea. Why would anybody wish ill upon him? Anyway, none of that is important. That is just the random drivel that I say in order to pad out the moments when there's not a lot going on. Welcome to the last 6 years of me making videos on this accursed website. It did strike me earlier this week, actually, that the 6-year anniversary of the channel came and went, and I didn't even bloody notice, which doesn't wholly surprise me. I've never held the actual birthday of the channel, which I think is the 10th of May. In particularly high regard, just because, yeah, shoot the frickin' loader dozer. No, shoot the bloody monster, you stupid idiot. Honestly. Right, who got bashed up? You got bashed up. You go repair, you're fine. I don't really think we've got any other trucks out in the boot at the moment. Not you, you're okay. Yeah, you might as well repair. Stand still, for goodness sake. I know I upgraded your engine to about 3,000 horsepower, but stand still, man. Yeah, I've never held the anniversary of the channel in particularly high regard, but I don't know. I feel like I should have at least remembered it, but I did completely forget. So, hey ho, maybe this can be some sort of a interesting thing that we do round about the time of the anniversary. We can use that as an excuse. We can use that as an excuse of a celebration. Okay, let's have a look on the map. There is another thing through here. More monsters. Good. I was just thinking to myself, this level doesn't have enough monsters in it. In a level called Rocky Horror, you'd expect it to be full of blooming rock monsters. So perhaps they've got little teeth. Did you see that? They've got little teeth. That's really interesting. How much damage is that going to do? Enough, which is lovely. Yeah, let me just come over here and deal with this for no particularly good reason. This isn't a very efficient way of doing things. I'm going to do it on the side. Just have to wait for him to get past the fence. There we go. So that I don't accidentally shoot the fence again. And then I think we'll come over here and break down this stuff, because this is sort of on the other side of that wall, and it will help sort of join things up a little bit, and clear out a few spawn points. Yeah. Can't remember what I was talking about, but it clearly wasn't that important if it slipped my mind quite so easily. I am interested to see that they've taken, I was going to say, a very different tactic to the original level, or the original formation of the level. I don't know, upon reflection, if I'd go that far. It's more intense, because there are more monsters, of course. And there are the slugs, and there's the eroding lava. So there are various factors which do increase the level of difficulty of the level, but it's not been made that much more difficult. I mean, you know, I'm moseying along. Obviously, there's quite a lot of sleeping monsters, and the ones that are there are mostly the strong variety. So that's all its own little challenge that needs to be dealt with. But hell, I'd probably say I had more difficulty at the start of Back to Basics than I had with this thus far. So I would have sort of expected this to be more of a hellscape, to be quite frank with you. But thus far, it's not been too bad. I'm thinking we might end up with a very mobile base. Actually, we might continuously relocate. We might continuously relocate base camp further and further away from the slugs and closer towards the area that we're actively mining out. A bit like in the same way that you move bases between one cavern and another cavern. In terms of one level to another level, but oh bollocks, I forgot about him. Get off my feet, you slimy little sponge. Right, let's deal with a little monster. Bloody hell. So they've got, what, is that 220 health? That's quite a lot. I mean, obviously you can make the level more difficult by just kicking all the sliders through the ceiling if you wanted to. But, I'm not sure, I'm not sure that's the way the game is exactly meant to be played. Obviously the sliders are there to be used if you want to use them, but I rather imagine there has to be some sort of baseline that you design the level against, and I assume that's just the default sliders. So I feel like this is probably the way to play the game, the way that the level designers intended. But no, I sort of expected this to be more difficult. Maybe it's going to get more difficult in a minute, and we're going to start seeing monsters the scale of which we saw the slugs in the last level with like 4,000 or 5,000 health points, which will be a heck of a thing to deal with. But if that happens, it happens, and we'll deal with it, and if it doesn't happen, then there's nothing to worry about, because, and this is a terrifying thing to say, but this is the last level in the Remastered Campaign. So this is their last opportunity to pull a rabbit out of the hat and shock me with something. And goodness knows this Remastered Campaign has had a lot of shocks in it. A lot of things that I was really surprised by. I suppose there's no reason not to just witter on. So here's me wittering on. We played the standard campaign. And then we started playing the Basmod campaign, although that didn't start the way that it finished, because that was before the 1.0 release of the game, which contained these 4 different campaigns. So the first few levels, if I remember correctly, was just because I downloaded a pack of custom levels, which were recreations of the Basmod. I don't know if those were then just directly imported into the game in terms of being that campaign, or whether there were any differences between the custom level versions and the campaign versions. I don't know if there were any differences there. I don't know, maybe those levels were made by the developer of the game. It's just like a pet project or something. Or maybe they were made by somebody else and then they were seen to be really good and then they were brought in. I don't know. I don't know the history of these things. But that's where we started doing the Basmod levels, and I can't remember if at that stage I had any intention to go all the way through the campaign or not, but we did. We went the whole way through that campaign, and then he is beelining for a gap in the fence. That's a bloody sensible thing to do, isn't it? And then when we completed the... Well, actually, no, I think it was more like sort of part way through the Basmod campaign, to be honest with you. People started commenting and sort of recommending and suggesting that I play through the Remastered Campaign, and I was hesitant to do it because I was concerned about the potentially repetitious nature of playing what I saw as the same set of levels for a third time, right? Because we played the standard campaign, we then played the Basmod campaign, which was quite different, but not like... I don't remember any of them being like a complete reimagining of the levels. They were more of a... Let's take the idea of the level, let's take it a little bit further, let's expand on it, let's put a few little nuances in, like the... Well, I was going to say the tunnel transport. I think the tunnel transport was originally a Basmod thing, I think. but then it obviously was part of the standard campaign in Manic Miners as well. But anyway, yes, I had my concerns about lava monster. Oh, that's good. That problem is there's a load of blooming lava on the other side of that wall. I think that's through there. Yeah, I had my concerns about doing it, and what I did to try and inform myself of it was just to play the remaster version of Driller Knight. So I played that on my own without recording it or anything. I just played through it to see what it looked like, and I remember I have quite a vivid memory of getting to the far end of the cavern, where I think there's like a little strip of lava, and then there's a little island on the other side of it, and then there's 2 or 3 slugs that are sleeping, and then when you uncover the cavern, they wake up, and you see them trot off to their slug hole, and then they despawn. And I remember seeing that and being really quite impressed with it. As much as it wasn't any new gameplay mechanics or anything, you know, world changing, it was interesting and it impressed me. And then people continued to recommend that I play the Remastered Campaign. Well, might as well at this point. It's easier than thinking up something else to do. So on we went, and then all this time later, here we are, right at the end of it, and it's been quite a wild ride, if I may say so. I think some of my favourite moments have definitely been. Probably my favourite moment was discovering, being judded up and down on a bloody broken escalator. I think probably my favourite moment would be discovering the big monsters for the very first time. I can't remember exactly when that was. I feel like... Was that in... Oh, what's it called? The mission where you have to go off to the side of the cavern in order to find the tunnel transport. I can't remember the name of it now. And that's going to really annoy me that I can't remember the name of that level. You know the one I mean, you know. It's where the ice monsters get introduced. It's the first mission with combat in, and then you have to go off and get the tunnel transport that's off on the side of the map. That one. If I remember correctly, we went all the way to the far end of the map on that one, and that's where we saw our first big monster. And that was like a real shock moment of, oh my goodness, I'd never even considered this. And now it's here, it's in front of me. I've got to deal with it, and it's slightly... What a delicious thought! What if I let the lava erode such that it gets all the way around the slug holes, and then the slugs have nowhere to go? They'll pop out of their hole and they'll see, oh my goodness, someone's done some landscape gardening and now there's a river of lava outside my doorstep. I better go back inside. Interesting. Where's he coming from? I can't even see him. Oh, there he is. Did you get bashed up? No, you didn't. Where's my thing gone? Oh, here it is. Yes, of course he was getting good repairs, wasn't he? I think there's going to be more lava in that direction. I don't want to go that way. Oh, I'm going this way instead. Oh, stop bashing things, you bastards. Stop just barging in here and breaking stuff. I know I'm in here stealing all of your food. Not that. That's not what I wanted to do at all. I just wanted to press the bloody hotkey to repair something, and I just pressed the hotkey to spawn someone in instead, and now the map's gone buggered, and everything's turned into a disaster. Yeah, discovering the massive monsters for the first time, I think has got to be the probably my favourite moment. It's definitely the most memorable moment, I think, of the entire campaign. As much as I cannot, for the life of me, remember what that level is called, and it is driving me absolutely crazy trying to remember what it is. It's not explosive action. That's the one we used Dynamite for the first time. I can't think what it's called. I should be able to name all 25 levels in chronological order off the top of my head without missing a beat. But for some reason, I can't. Nope, I am racking my brains and I cannot think of it. Never mind, it's not important. Yes, I think that has probably been my single favourite moment throughout this, but it's been an extremely fun series. I've been really impressed by the way they've been able to take the original levels and either reimagine them, like this one, and turn them into something newly exciting, or they have been able to take an existing level and then... Yeah, I have a feeling it would get through. And they've been able to take an existing level and intensify it, whilst keeping the basic premise of the level, or the basic strategy of the level, the same. I think the big volcano in Hot Stuff, that was a hell of a moment as well. Obviously the massive slug in Back to Basics was a thing. I don't know if that perhaps... I don't know, I'm trying to decide if that would have been pulled off better by there only being one big slug. Because obviously there were a couple of sort of mediumly big slugs that we saw, which had like 400 or 500 health points, and then we got to the massive slug at the end, which was the one I was showing you of me petting it, which was, you know, why don't I just if I'm not going over there for a while anyway, why don't I just reinforce the bloody bits and then just not deal with it anymore? It's going to take forever because there's not actually that many men left who've got who aren't in vehicles, but all the same. All the same. Yes, I wonder if perhaps not by introducing those sort of medium-sized slugs that had, say, 400 or 500 health points and just going straight to the... Do you mind being slightly less of a douchebag? I don't know where I picked up that term from. It's not a one that's typically in my vocabulary. But here we are, all the same. Yeah, I don't know if then just jumping immediately to the bloody huge slug that's like got 4,000 health points would be would make that more of a shock factor, and more of an amazing thing. And I think once you've seen the big monsters and you've played one or two levels that's got slugs in it, I feel like it's almost a given at that point that they've got to do a massive slug. I feel like that sort of almost goes without saying, because it would just be such a wasted opportunity not to do it. So you I feel like you almost kind of have to at that point. But yeah, that was a hell of a moment as well. I feel like Back to Basics is I was going to say Back to Basics is that my favourite in terms of what they've... Okay, there's a lot to look at here. How much health do you have? You seem a bit bigger than the others. Yes, you are bigger than the others. Okay, I'm going to get whatever kind of assistance I can. Bloody hell. He's not quite clipping through the ceiling, but he wouldn't have to work that much harder in order to do so. Bloody hell, I've just found a wall or something, so I'm just going to turn around and then try and dodge him a little bit. There we go. We're going to have to deal with this one that's just spawned on my right hand side. That slug will be a separate issue that we'll deal with. And then What in the world just happened? I'm sorry? Why did that get beamed up? There was no monster there. Was there a landslide? Did I just get caught by the edge of a landslide? Is that what happened? Surely not. That was weird. That was really weird. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. We got one of our crystals back, so it doesn't really matter, but that was weird. That was weird. Anyway, yeah, let's wait for someone to have their sandwiches. You'll do just fine. We'll get upgraded again. Good thing we've got heaps and heaps of ore, so it doesn't really matter if things get upgraded multiple times. That's fine. Yeah, it's almost time to kind of relocate base camp, but I want to have a look and see what we've got over here. Okay. We've kind of seen all the way to the other end of the map. There's this big dip here, which I'm interested in. But, yeah, there's a lot to see and do. There's a lot to see and do, like any good amusement park. Right, I think I need to sort of work my way through there, get rid of the monsters, and then I'm going to potentially have a think about relocating HQ to somewhere like around here. It's interesting because normally I just have the base wherever it puts the base at the start of the level, but now that I'm sort of actively moving the base camp around, that's adding a... I love the way that the little slugs, little eyes just sort of peek out from the top of this thing. That is such a cute little view. Aww. That is so cute. It's like a little dog sticking its head out the window of a car while it drives down the road. It's just adorable. Yeah, because look, this slug hole, once that piece of lava, or once that piece of ground turns into lava, then the slugs won't be able to come out of that hole anymore. So that will just completely disarm the slugs, won't it? Yeah, plus we are losing ground rapidly over here. So it would be good to move base camp further away, and I reckon this could be a good spot for that. I just need to deal with these monsters, which are big. They're big. Bloody hell. I wonder if it might be a good idea, given that we've got heaps and heaps of crystals, to do what I did in Lava Laughter. Lava Laughter was a great level actually as well. I remember now what they did with that. That was a hell of a level. Yeah, I wonder if it might be a good idea to do what I did in Lava Laughter and get multiple. Okay, good. These are just sort of mediumly strong ones. To get 2 or maybe even 3 large mobile laser cutters so that I can be doing more damage per shot, because then that will allow me to deal with these big monsters more efficiently. I'm stuck on something. I'm always getting stuck on things. It drives me mad. I'm always getting stuck on things. These roads aren't wide enough. We need to put more money into road maintenance and road widening. Yeah, because these monsters are taking just a little bit too long to deal with for my taste. They're not a threat, it's just annoying having to deal with them for this long, and it would allow me to knock down the hard rock a little bit faster as well, so... Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this one, and then we're going to set this... I'm going to set this large mobile laser cutter to no jet. I am sorry, but no. I categorically refuse... What have you... That one, really? That one there? I'm sorry, Jet, but you're an absolute dunce. I'm not going to let you do that. Oh, for goodness sake. No, cancel that, for crying out loud. I just want 5 seconds to get on with something on my own. Dear. I am going to leave him here to drill out some bits of wall. No, I don't want to drill that 7 times. I just want to click on the other bloody wall. What's going on here? Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another large mobile laser cutter, and perfect. You can just get straight in it. I'm going to upgrade it, and then I'm going to bring it back over here. Then I'm going to see how much real estate we've got over there for building another base, because that could be quite a good place to build the base, actually, in a kind of little ravine, because if there's only 2, like... areas from which we could be attacked, then that will... Who let the dogs out? Who then proceeded to come over here and wake up all the frickin' monsters? I don't know, but they need to be sacked. Dear. Right, anybody that does have a gun, just get over here and start using it. Could you stop bashing things, you bloody bashers? Right, let me see if I can get rid of this one at least, and then the big one will just have to be dealt with separately. Right, who needs to be repaired? You need to be repaired, and you need to be repaired. I'm not overly worried about you. How are the trucks doing? You're already going off to get repairs. How's Ghosty Man doing? How's my Ghosty Man doing? He's not doing very well. I know the bloody feeling. He's fine, okay. No, stop it! Leave the sleepy monsters alone. Who went over there to wake them up, but whoever they are, Stop it. Stop being daft. That's my shtick. Right. Never mind. Yeah, they're spending a long time moving back and forth for like getting sandwiches and stuff as well, aren't they? So. Wait, where's this slug hole gone? Where's this slug hole actually gone? It can't have been eroded, surely. That would be crazy. Maybe it's like if it gets fully engulfed in lava, then it just disappears and also turns into a square of lava. Because there's no slug hole here, is there? I'm not going crazy. There's no slug hole here. It was definitely like here. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on this one then. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm not paying any attention to what I'm doing. Okay, let's get the hell on with what? Why can't I? This is not quite bloody flat enough. Well, read my lips. I don't care if it's not flat enough. Just sit on it a few times and that'll fix it, I'm sure. Right. Yeah, let's get on with building. We're building a new base camp, yeah, because I mean this is going to start getting eroded and lost soon anyway. Not that that line of fences are particularly important to us, but yeah, just kind of get straight on moving. Really, most of this land is not flat enough to build on. Okay, I reckon we'll be able to do a little bit here, not a tremendous amount. Yeah, I think we'll survive for this. Oh, hello! I didn't even know this was here. I didn't even notice. Okay, that's fine. Let's bring you over here. Let's just have you shoot this stuff down. You can come over here to sort of get you out of the way a little bit so I can actually see what's going on to a certain degree. Yes, this is becoming more stressful. And we're getting really far into this. We're now going an hour and 40 minutes. Plus that little bit at the beginning before I showed you that bit of extra footage. Yeah, the slug hole's gone. That's really interesting. So if a slug hole gets completely surrounded by lava, it disappears. That is fascinating, because that must stop the slugs from just spawning out of it, realizing there's nowhere they can go and coming back down, which would be a waste of time. Maybe the idea is it's so that they then prioritize other slug holes instead? This would have actually been a better place to build the base now that I think about it. What else do I want? I want an upgrade station. I want a super teleport pad. I don't really give a flying frick where it goes. I guess I want one of those just so that I've got one of all the bits that I need. Could it go there actually? Yeah, it could. Stop that. Here we go. Right, you two come up here because that's where you're going to be needed next. We're going to do a few upgrades as well, just so we can put in our buildings and things if we need them once we get rid of the other base camp. And then I will set up some fence, and then we'll be about done. Bloody hell. I think what a cute little screensaver would be just like a map, just like a nicely designed map with different caverns and stuff, and like no men or monsters or any resources or anything like that in it. Just a nice little cavern and just a little bit of lava in the corner, just like one little piece of lava in the corner that just slowly grows and grows and grows until it's eaten up the whole map. I think that would be a cute little screensaver. Do computers even have screensavers anymore? I don't know. I don't know. Does that make me sound old? I think Phil, what are you talking about screensavers? I'm not using Windows Vista anymore. Ugh, do you remember Vista? I hope not, because it was ghastly. Bloody hell. That was a crap platform. Oh, blimey. Sorry, I'm just having old man memories at this point. I'm just remembering crap computer systems that used to exist a long time ago. I don't know why I'm doing such a top-down view on this. Yeah, whatever, fine, it'll do. Yeah. Windows Vista was crap. I don't know why. I don't know how I got on that thought or why I ended up there, but yeah, screensavers. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, I think that would be a cute little screensaver, wouldn't it? Just to slowly watch the a map get eroded with lava. I mean, you could do that with like a custom map and then just record it as a piece of footage, couldn't you? So I guess, you know, it wouldn't be it would be by no means impossible to put something like that together. I'm just not sure if anybody would have the interest to do it. Oh, right, now we need to get rid of this base camp, don't we? Yes, indeed. Right! Up, and away! And then we'll probably realise we've forgotten to build an important building or something. Right, I'm going to get rid of... Get rid of all this as well. So glad I've got these hotkeys. Yeah, the trucks can worry about that, although I'm sure the men will come over and collect the last few crystals just to be annoying. There we go, get rid of all of that stuff. 32 units, bloody hell. There we are, so that's taken us massively further away from the lava, and we no longer need to worry about slugs. Good. That is very interesting. So actually letting the lava erode in that direction is almost a good idea, in that you no longer need to worry about the slugs, because there just don't seem to be any more slug holes. So that's very interesting. I find that an interesting tactic. I know there was a very old, an old-fashioned tactic of doing levels like Back to Basics, where you would surround a slug hole with teleport pads, for example, so that the slugs would come out, they'd then have nowhere to go, and then they'd just go back in because they couldn't pass through buildings. So I guess this is a sort of rough equivalent of that, by sort of letting the land be eroded away, which is interesting. Speaking of things that are interesting, rock monsters can't walk across water, can they? So from where? From there. How unfair! Not that you dozy dingleberry. Just stop it. Oh, fine, just let him die in the fence. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Maybe I care. Maybe I care a little bit. I wish to watch you die. It will make me feel better. That's better. Right. Yeah. Rock monsters can't walk across water. Lava monsters can walk over lava, and ice monsters can walk across water, but rock monsters can only walk across the land. Which means I can do myself a favour, yes, by waking up as many of these monsters as possible, because they'll all just go home and have their tea, and then I won't have to deal with them. I keep seeing something out of the corner of my eye, and it's driving me mad. Oh, I think it's actually a reflection of something behind me. I think that's what it is. Sorry, it's of no interest to you whatsoever. This is like the most ghastly entertainment anyone's ever tried to create. Watch a man try and guess a random reflection that you can't see. Okay, there we are. That's most of them gone. I'm not sure I can actually get any of the others. But oh yeah, is there a recharge seam around here? I should have seen this. This is this one, which is okay, but it's not great. But okay, right. Let me just take off the cancels on those points so that they're not being left behind. Here we go. Okay, I feel like we're making progress. I'm genuinely shocked that it hasn't crashed, and if it does crash when we get really close to the end, I'm going to be really, really pissed. And there's no two ways about it. So there's something for the game to think about. If it wishes to do that, then we shall see what happens. But I will not be a happy bunny. Certainly not as happy as I am to see that monster die. See all these monsters die. That's why I was more. Oh, we did it again. I thought it was crashing for an instant there. Okay, we've reached the 120 anyway. I'm also surprised at the 120. I'd have expected that to be a hell of a lot higher. Like, we did get all the crystals, didn't we? Yeah, they're just leaving the ore behind. That's fine. They're probably prioritizing ore, which is closer, which is a perfectly sensible thing to do. Yeah, I'm shocked at the crystal requirement as well. I'd have thought that'd be much higher, like 200. I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been 250. That would have seemed, perfectly in keeping with my expectations. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's set this to track one of these guys. There we go. Can knock our way through some of here. Doesn't look like there's immediately another cavern on the far side of here, but maybe a corridor, because I'm wondering how we're going to get on the other side of that water. Although, actually, I might have just found a pathway anyway. Sorry, I was just checking the frame rate. Yeah, because if I knock down this piece over here, then that bit of solid rock will go. There we are, and then I can probably punch my way through here, which will allow me on the other side of there, and that I expect will be a more interesting pathway to explore. But yes, my concern about the game, my concern about turning to crashing on was lessened when it said that the timer was set at about 40 minutes. Which I think is a pretty... Now that I think about it, if it's like it's set to crash once, roughly every 40 minutes of gameplay, then that's a bit interesting, because most of these levels would take you longer than 40 minutes, at least if you're, you know, going all the way to the end of the level. If you're just getting to the basic objective, then I'm sure most of them you could do in less than 40 minutes, but that's interesting, isn't it? But no, my concern is that if we get like really close to the end, obviously there's going to be some kind of crescendo when we meet some giant cavern that's absolutely chock-a-block of crystals, which I'm very much looking forward to finding. But if we get that far, and there's just like a little bit left to do, where it's just like wandering around and mopping up the last few little areas that we've not been through, and it crashes at that point, am I going to have the wherewithal to replay through like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours of level just for the sake of seeing the last 15 minutes of it? I don't really know. I don't really know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Maybe it won't crash at all. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're just going to have to wait and see. Like, I'm going to wait and see if this monster gets woken up by his friend here. Yes, he is. Okay, that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. See, no, okay, I thought he was coming over here to attack, but he's not actually. Right, this might consume crystals, but I just want to kill him. There we go. There we go, that's that done. Right, we are pretty much at the far end of the map, which is a hell of a thing. We've got this little dip here in front of us, which I'm curious to see what it is, because there is seldom smoke without fire. And there is seldom a dip that is just of no interest whatsoever. So I'm confident in saying there's something in there of interest, because I don't think they'd bother about fiddling with the terrain if it was just a heap of solid rock that you're never going to see. I don't think they'd bother to waste their time on that. So there must be something there, but it's not instantly accessible. So we will have to work our way around a little bit, because we have met the edge of the map in this direction. There might be something off in that corner, but I'm not overly fussed about that just for this moment in time. Okay, nothing to worry about, everything's fine, just take a long, deep breath and die, Mr. Monster. Ah, that's better. I'm slightly tempted to get a third large mobile laser cutter. I'm also slightly tempted to send them off to get repairs, but there's going to be nothing for us to do while we wait for that to happen, so I might push it a little bit further. But yeah, a third large mobile laser cutter might be a good idea, especially if we encounter any more of those. I guess I'm going to call them like level 3 monsters for no particular good reason. You've got your kind of level 1 monsters, which are your regular 100 health ones that spawn out of the walls. You've got your sort of level 2 monsters, seem to have about 220 health. And then you've got, I think we saw a bigger monster that had, was it 400 health points? So yeah, I feel like it would be advantageous for dealing with these level 2 monsters, but it would definitely be very helpful for dealing with those big 3rd level monsters if we do encounter any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive over here and deal with these monsters. I'm probably going to have to try and deal with the big one first, because the small one might wake him up. So we'll get rid of this guy, and then we will... Can you not do that, you absolute cad? What I guess I could do, actually, is send one of them back for repairs, while the other one carries on mining, so that we've got something to do. And then, yeah. And then when he gets back, we can just send the other guy off to repair. And that way they can kind of cover for each other, can't they? Unless this guy just gets massively damaged by this. Okay, let's just scoot around the edges here so that we can see if there are any undiscovered caverns or anything. Doesn't immediately seem like it. Oh wait, there's something. There's something. We are kind of circling this at the moment, which is interesting. What about on the other side of here? I'm interested. Yes, there's definitely something in there. I'm just going to move you back in case you're about to get bashed out. It can't be. It can't be that long until this guy actually gets here now. Okay. The lava continues to proceed apace, but we are moving away from it further than it is moving towards us, so I'm not overly concerned at the moment. And then, yeah, I'll bring this guy back. Maybe we'll push through here, actually. Because, yeah, we're about to sort of push that way, past this dip. Because it said it was basically north of where I started, and I started over there, which is sort of this way. So this dip seems the obvious place for it to be. Maybe too obvious, but there's nothing to do but wait and see, is there? Nothing to do but wait and see. Right. After sitting in this chair for 6 years, you think I'd figured out a way to sit on it comfortably. Never mind. Let's break our way through here and see what there is to be seen. It can't just be that it's a dip filled with 200 crystals. There's got to be something more to it than that. There's got to be something threatening, something dangerous, something I need to worry about, something that's going to require me to deal with the situation. Right? There's got to be something more to it than that. One assumes, anyway. Okay. It's not MK. It's not MK. It's not MK. It's not MK. People are all going to start going off and clearing rubble and stuff, aren't they? Which I really don't want them to do. Okay. Just relax. Just breathe, Phil. For crying out loud, remember to bloody breathe. Could you just, like, go and eat a sandwich or something? Thank you very much. Okay. What was that I was saying earlier about a third large mobile laser cutter? Well, now is the time. Now is the hour. We're getting a large mobile laser cutter. So, as soon as Axel has eaten his dinner, which frankly is larger than his torso, which is a bit of a worry. I don't think I've ever heard him say that before. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, we're going to get another one. Laser time! Big lasers! Just lasers everywhere. Yep. I'm pulling a lava laughter tactic. It worked then. I don't see why it wouldn't work now. So, we'll get these two and we'll drive them up to meet their friends, and then we'll have 4 of these guys here. Yeah, are these going to be the 400 health ones? They easily could be. They very easily could be. Okay. We could also relocate Rock Raider HQ again at some point, maybe either up here or just sort of here. I might build a like a tool store out. Where? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you utter cad! You absolute bastard! Oh, fucking hell. I should have seen that coming a bloody mile off and I didn't, and I'm such a fucking idiot. Okay. I have no fucking defenses ready. Okay. It's not MK! It's not MK! I'm so fucking dead. I'm so fucking dead. Oh. Why did that bloody monster have to spawn? Why in the Well, did that monster have to spawn? Ah! Just with the bugger off. Oh, sod off, the lot of you. Not you. No, don't shoot the bloody support station, you utter frickin' cretin! How the hell did a crystal get all the way up there? But that's absolutely fascinating. I don't give a rat's ass. Okay. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we didn't lose as much as I thought we were going to lose because I thought we were going to lose everything. Right. I don't know how many crystals we lost in terms of stuff getting eaten. What are we missing? I know we're just missing everything, but right now my brain doesn't function because I've just spent the last minute spitting profanities. I'm sorry about that, but deal with it. Oh, no, don't click out of the fucking game. Just get on with the bloody thing. How do I get that flying crystal out of here? Right, the next... Oh, my goodness gracious. Right, you are going to get it. You are going to frickin' get it. I love how the load of those has been here as well, as if he's helping with anything. Right, oh, I love that you're just doing that one by one. Okay, that's because we've lost all of our trucks, isn't it? Okay, right. Bloody hell. Okay. Just sod off. Just find a bucket of lava and swallow it, you utter bloody bastards. Oh, just leave that for 5 minutes. We've got bigger fucking fish to fry. Sorry. That was really, really stressful. I know I should have set up much better defenses. I should have had mining lasers. I should have had everything, and I didn't, and I'm stupid, and I know that, and let's all just accept that fact and move the frick on. I know all of that. All of that is true, and I don't deny it, and you're all right to be screaming at me for being so poorly prepared for all of this. I know. Let's just turn recharging crystals off for the moment, because we need to get some stuff sorted out. You could do that one at a time, or you could worry about the actual crystals that are right here. And, you know, like, buildings, and getting the trucks back, and everything else, and getting the fence repaired, and everything else that needs doing. I've turned the priority for doing that off. Stop it. Build buildings. Thank you for crying out loud. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did it not occur to me that of course a horse there was going to be a bloody monster that would just spawn out of a frickin' wall and just like, oh, look, a load of sleeping monsters. Oi, fellas, have you seen there's like a big base over there? We could go and bash it up and then eat all the crystals. Wouldn't that be fun? Yes, I'm sure they thought that was really bloody fun. Guess who it wasn't fun for? Me! Can't see what I'm doing. I'm just shooting as some random orange blob. I'm really short-sighted, so I really can't. Oh, good. Now everyone's just got out of the frickin' things. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, bloody hell. I am in such a state. I need to calm down. Put my glasses back on as well so I can see what the hell it is I'm actually trying to do. Wow, this game is actually quite high res. Okay. Why do these monsters keep spawning? Just sod off and leave me alone, for crying out loud. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Get rid of this one, and then... Okay, where are we at? Okay. We can start getting trucks back. need to get people back in all these vehicles as well. Because I just pressed E. I pressed E for some stupid reason, like an absolute moron, and it got everybody out of it. And that was just a really stupid thing to do. You know, like all the other really stupid things I've done in my day. Okay. Right. You go off and get repairs. You're fine. We need to get a load more drivers. And that monster's going to die, because I hate monsters, because they're absolutely ghastly and nasty creatures that go around waking all their friends up, and then all their friends march over and bash up everything I've ever loved. They just keep bloody spawning, and they walk so fracking fast over this rubble. Right. One problem at a time, old boy. One problem at a time. Let's just get people back in these vehicles. And for some reason you can't tell two people to get into different vehicles at the same time, which is driving me mad. Just die! Just die! Sorry. I know most people think these videos are like all calm and quiet and relaxing, and they're nice because they, you know, you just listen to them and it's just me prattling on quietly and you can just fall asleep. And that's lovely and all right, but I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit shouty in this one. This one's just getting on my tits at the moment. I burst a blood vessel in my brain and I'm gonna die. Right. Oh, just die in the fence. What? That one was like 50 feet in the air. Oh, you absolute... If you even think about that, you utter cad. Oh my goodness gracious. Right, just all of you lot come home, because the reason I'm dealing with these bloody monsters is... The reason I'm dealing with these bloody monsters is because there are vehicles there to fight them, and if there's no vehicles there to fight them, then I won't be bothered about them, and I can just forget. We need to upgrade that. What else is missing? Nothing else at the moment. Okay, so I need to rebuild that. I've still got my upgrade station. Let's just get everybody repaired. I've actually managed to bend my glasses, which is bad because A, they were very expensive, because glasses are apparently becoming extortionately expensive over the last couple of years since I got my last set. And they're practically brand new, so I really shouldn't do that. So I just need to calm the hell down for 5 seconds, and we need to get this sorted out. We need to rebuild the super teleport pad. Buildings have all been repaired, so there's nothing to worry about. We need to get our 3 or so trucks redone. Then I need to figure out a way of reinforcing the walls around here so that all of those monsters can stop spawning, because right now that is an impossibly difficult situation for me to deal with. Can this message box just piss off for 5 minutes, because at the moment I do not have the energy to deal with it. Okay, this is fine. They're coming at staggered enough intervals that it doesn't matter. I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean to get in such a state, but doing this level and doing it well matters to me, and right now I'm not doing it very well, and that was a perfectly obvious problem that I should have envisioned much earlier, and it was a perfectly solvable problem if I'd had a better system of fence set up, and I'd had some mining lasers arranged here, and I had more men with guns, and there were just 100 obvious things that I could have done that I didn't do because I'm a moron. So that's just getting on my nerves a little bit, but don't worry about that. Right. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I'm just running on adrenaline and anger. Okay. Let's get the recharging energy crystals priority turned back on. Then they will deal with that. And then what I'm going to do is... turn clearing rubble back on. And then I'm going to slowly bring my large mobile laser cutters back. and then I'm gonna mine out as much of this as I can in order to prevent monsters spawning. And if they continue to spawn out of some spots, then I will find some way of getting a load of those over there in order to reinforce them. But we will deal with that in a minute. Right now, I just need to breathe and deal with this situation in a calm and rational way, because I feel as if we are very close to the end of this mission, or at least to the crescendo of this mission, because obviously there's a lot of the map we haven't seen yet. But first and foremost, we need to deal with all of these monster spawns, because I cannot continue on like this with all of these monsters just spawning left, right and centre, because it is wasting so much time and causing so much distraction, and frankly it's just making me angry. So I'm not going to deal with that situation. There. I'm going to get rid of these walls where monsters seem to spawn about once every 5 seconds. I suppose actually to a certain degree I should be grateful for that other monster, because he seemed to be able to pick up the crystal that was about stuck 50 feet in the air for some ghastly reason, and that then meant I could then get the crystal when he then died. So to a degree I suppose I should be grateful. I'm not grateful. I still think all of the monsters are utter bellends, and as far as I'm concerned, each of their deaths have been highly well deserved. Would you just shoot, please? No, apparently you wouldn't. Just get over there and shoot, for crying out loud. You insubordinate little men! Get on with it! Right, what is on the other side of here? Stuff I can't be asked to deal with. Okay, so there's this dip here, and then there's that. Which way is it? I'm going to guess it's this way. Well, I'm going to find out which way it is, actually, because I'm going to look over here and see if there's a cavern. There's obviously something here, because there's a cavern here with monsters in it and stuff. Oh, and more lava! And more lava. Good. I was just thinking, there's not enough lava, so now we've got more lava. Good! At least this lava doesn't erode. If there's lava eroded, then... oh. Ugh. I would have some form of a fit. I'm pretty sure I've already had some form of a fit. But I'd have another one. Not you. I wish when you drew boxes it would just... well, if it did pro...
This is what it's all been building up to.
Okay, you're telling me that. Why? I'm going to reinforce some other walls while I'm around here as well. What the hell is going to be in there? Seriously, what is going to be in there? Something that I'm going to need maybe a lot of trucks for, so maybe I should get some of those now that I think about it. To reinforce that, then we basically know where the monsters can come from, apart from about 500 miles away. Okay. Calm the hell down and focus, old boy. Okay, how many people have I got? I do have 10 people, okay. Oh yeah, because they're running large mobile laser cutters, aren't they? I guess I don't really need all 4 of them anymore, unless there are... unless there's some 50,000 hit point monster in there, in which case I'll make the game crash by stabbing a knife into my graphics card. I won't do that actually, because graphics cards are bloody expensive. They were expensive when I bought that one, and they've somehow got more expensive since. I don't know why I say somehow, that's just how inflation works. Yeah, let's bring down some more men. I know that'll eat up the oxygen, but just get the hell on with this, and then that'll give us enough oxygen to bring it back, and we'll get a few more trucks. I should have seen that was coming. I said it. I said there are probably going to be more of those 400 hit point monsters, and yet I didn't do anything about it, which was utterly foolish of me. If I play this game for the next 100 years, I will never understand. Why do they say, Bandit's just picked up a piece of ore all the way over here. He should then carry this piece of ore all the way over here in order to put it in this building, which is needed to make oxygen as quickly as is humanly possible. No. The closest ore should be used to get it to be there, not the most recently collected ore. Anyway, I doesn't matter. Let's get some more trucks.
Hey! Mailman.
Everything's mended with more trucks. Everything's mended by having more trucks. Oh, blimey. Yeah, I knew they were going to have more powerful monsters somewhere. I knew that was going to happen. I said it was going to happen. But for some utterly foolish reason, I didn't think to actually prepare for it, because I thought, why did I think they would just come one at a time? Why didn't I assume they would throw about 50 at me all at once? I should have had more lines of fence so that the fence could do more damage to the monsters as they was walking along. I should have had some mining lasers set up so I could just blast them as they came through. I should have had more boots on the ground with guns for killing monsters. I should have had a million things sorted out, and I didn't, and I'm an utter moron, and I'm sorry that you are rightly ashamed
Let
of me.
the younger generation have fun with that.
Oh dear. Sorry, I've actually hurt my bridge of my nose ever so slightly now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a moron and a loser, but we both knew that a long time ago. We didn't get through 5,700 episodes of this series without demonstrating that I'm a complete muppet. No, not you, just him. There we go. Yeah, I guess this will be enough, because what I'm also going to do is set up a tool store outpost over there, because I can't be bothered to move the base again, as much as it would be a sensible thing to do at this moment. Maybe what I will do actually is give the extra men that are standing around guns, just so that they can defend if they need to. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to stick a tool store down in the middle here, because yes, we can carry more crystals, we can carry them faster. I also want to carry them a shorter distance, because if there is some form of a danger that I need to protect those crystals from, then I should do that as quickly as possible. Thank you, Bandit. Screw you, Bandit. So, the more crystals they can carry per second, the faster those crystals can be transported, and the shorter the distance at which they need to be transported, the better. I would get rid of some of these, but I don't know for certain that there's not going to be some bloody huge 50,000 hit point monster in here that I need to deal with. But, let's find out. Okay. Let's find out. Happy bloody days. If any monsters spawn out of those little bits of wall on the side there, then I will happily murder them and then find all of their families and murder all of their families and then find their families' families and murder all of their families' families. And that's the end of the matter. There we go. There we go. That'll do. That's a cute thumbnail, I think, if we're going to use that as a thumbnail. Oh. Bloody hell. And the game didn't crash. The game still didn't crash. I crashed and burned, but the game didn't. Ugh. I'm just going to let that happen for a little while. I need a break. Oh, there's a monster, sorry. Stop sleeping, Phil. Oh, it's alright, there's a monster about 5 miles away. It's fine. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's bring these guys over here and then... Excuse me. Can all of you listen to what I have to say, please? Honestly, I'm surprised the chief has demoted himself and become a foot soldier. Nobody listens to any orders around here. I'm surprised he's getting grumpy. Oh, I should have expected this to be more difficult. I'm slightly ashamed to say it, but I think I've played this campaign in a very arrogant way. I think I've played this campaign in a very arrogant way by assuming that whatever happens, I will be able to deal with it, and my old-fashioned tactics will continue to work. I think it's been a very arrogant way to play this, and I sort of wish that I'd come into this with more realistic expectations of assuming, okay, this is going to be quite different, and acknowledging that my old-fashioned tactics were not going to be suitable and that I needed to do something different. I feel like that's how I should have come into this from the start, but I didn't. But, you know, I've still had an absolute blast playing this campaign, as much as I've not done it very well, I don't think. I didn't do I Spy particularly well. See, that's sort of what I was saying earlier about the video I did on I Spy and Lava Laughter, because I feel like that was an exercise in contrasts. Because on the... Oh, gracious. That's a very small monster. That's a very little monster. It's a very little monster that's eating something, but don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Yeah, I don't really care, mate. Yeah, that episode, I think, those two levels in particular were a very strong contrast, where in I Spy, I played it very arrogantly and lost miserably. And then I went on to Lava Laughter, and I didn't play it arrogantly. I paid the level the respect that it deserved. I assumed it was going to be difficult, and I put strategies in place that actually dealt with that level of difficulty. So, I feel like that episode probably epitomizes my performance, or lack thereof, in this campaign, in that I went into it thinking that I've played this game for many years, I've played the original for even more years, I know what I'm doing. You know what? I'm sorry. There might be other stuff to see in, like, this bit of the map here. I know there's a big ass bit of the map I'm not looking at here, but I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm just so tired of living. I'm so tired of living. Yeah, I just need to slow down and think for a minute. Maybe we will look at some more of the map in a minute, but I just need to think. Yeah, I feel like I went into this thinking that because I played this game for so very long, and we'd been through the standard campaign and the Basmod campaign, that I was too good to fail at it. Right, I was too experienced, I was too knowledgeable, the game wasn't difficult enough, that there was just no way I could bugger it up, and everything would be fine. And oh boy, did this game put me over its knee and gave me a damn good thwacking, because my goodness. This hasn't gone as badly as I Spy went, goodness no. I Spy was absolutely brutal. That just bashed away at me until it broke me down and I couldn't even bear to look at it anymore. But yeah, having big sleepy monsters that then get woken up by a little monster that then causes a conga line of destruction through my base is just so painful to observe. I am genuinely shocked it didn't go any worse than it did. I thought it was going to go far more disastrously. I thought they were going to destroy all the vehicles, all the buildings, and then we'd have no way to recover from it. But somehow we didn't, despite the fact that once we got into the main stage of the destruction, I wasn't really paying any attention to what was going on. I was just regretting trying to figure out how the hell I was going to scrape anything back, and occasionally still shooting a little bit, I think, but I should have just come into this with a much more aggressive strategy in terms of... I probably should have had like multiple large mobile laser cannons from the off. I should have had like a mining laser at each of the 4 corners of my base. And when I saw those big monsters coming along, I should have immediately started dealing with them and at least taken out like 2 or 3 of them before any monsters spawned out of these walls by this lava over here, in order to then wake up all the others. So that's what I should have done. It's not what I did do, but it's what I should have done. But anyway, none of that is tremendously important. With all of that said, right, as much as that, you know, I've just been very angry and I've just said some very critical things, I just want to make it clear that I am critiquing myself, right? I have not played this level particularly well. I've played it stupidly, I've played it arrogantly, I've not played it in a sensible or strategic way. That is no bad reflection on the game whatsoever. I'm not saying it by any stretch of the imagination that any of these levels are poorly designed. They are very well designed, because the whole point of there being extra campaigns and more levels to play is that there are new challenges to defeat, right? Because when it comes to media and nostalgic media, people often talk about wishing that they could experience something for the first time again, like listening to their favourite song for the very first time, or seeing their favourite film, reading their favourite book, etc., for the very first time once again. And of course that's not possible, because we can't go back in time and experience something for the first time again. That's just not physically possible. Things like this are the closest surrogate to that we'll ever get, where somebody takes something that you like and then kind of remakes it to some degree in a new form that is the same as what you understand. The same basic skeleton is there, but it's also new and unique, and it has new elements in it. So while it is still familiar and it still tickles that nostalgia bone, it challenges you in new ways, at least as far as strategy games are concerned. Obviously that doesn't apply to other types of media, like, you know, music and stuff, but you get where I'm coming from. Yes. So with that in mind, exactly what a game like this should do is say, we have a good understanding of what the players know how to do, the kind of strategies they employ, the kind of challenges they are used to meeting. We should take all of that and we should find new angles, new ways that we can design levels in order to make the player adopt something slightly new. Not completely new, which totally, you know, is different to what they've always been doing, because of course not. That at that point they might as well play a different game. That's not what I'm suggesting. It's that you should have the same basic fundamental rules and the same environment, but have to do it in a slightly new way, because that, I think, is the closest we'll ever come to playing Rock Raiders again new for the first time, is playing through something like the Remastered Campaign or the Basmod campaign, and having to create new strategies and overcome new problems and challenges in ways that we haven't had to before. Because as much as I've found it very frustrating and very embarrassing, to be quite frank, to have performed so terribly in this level, at the same time I have greatly enjoyed it, because there's no way I could have played original Rock Raiders at all that would have led me to the level of new challenge and having to play the game in a new way and learning and discovering something new in Rock Raiders than the way that I have had that in the Remastered Campaign here. It's just not possible to get any new mileage out of Rock Raiders when you're someone who's played it as much as me. So the Remastered Campaign has done a tremendously good job in allowing me to come as close as is humanly possible to experiencing Rock Raiders new for the very first time again. So, if that is the measuring stick of whether a remake like this has succeeded, and as far as I'm concerned that is the measuring stick, it's certainly the measuring stick that I would use, then this has succeeded brilliantly. And I don't know to what degree I've talked about this. Maybe I talked about this like 5 years ago when we first played Manic Miners. I don't know. That was a hell of a long time ago. That was a hell of a long time ago. A lot of things have changed since then. Not just in the game, but in myself as well. But, and I feel like this is the appropriate time to talk about it. This remake is just fundamentally really, really good. The authenticity to the original game is amazing. The technical proficiency is incredible. Even when it was in early access and it was before 1.0, I genuinely cannot remember encountering any bugs. Like, even one. Which is very impressive on its own merits, but when you consider that massive AAA games with tens, if not hundreds of millions of pounds behind their developments and whole teams of QA testers can... Oh, there's nothing in this corner? Oh, interesting. When you can have that big of a development and that much going into it, obviously you could argue those games are a lot bigger and a lot more complicated than a game of this is, of this scale is, but I'd argue the principle is basically the same. As I understand it, there's one guy behind this. Maybe it's a guy, maybe it's not a man, I have no idea. One person behind this, as I understand it. I think there have been obviously big contributions from other people, but my basic understanding is that it's one person behind this. Because I seem to remember reading an FAQ at some point that was like, can I help? Like, you know, is there some way that I, as a fan of the game, can help with this? And the answer to the FAQ was basically that they don't need more programmers. This is just like, one person sort of doing this on their own. And I could be completely wrong with my recollection of that, because that was probably a thing I read years ago. But that doesn't matter. Even if it's as many as a dozen people on this, it's still a very small team which has somehow managed to create an incredibly authentic, incredibly well presented and enjoyable experience. I've never heard anybody say a single negative word about this, and rightly so, because if anybody did have a negative word to say about this, I'd say that he needs to have a long hard look at what this actually is, because the love that has clearly gone into the creation of this, which clearly stems from a great appreciation for the original source material, is absolutely evident. There's no way that anybody could have made such a impressive remake, and goodness knows other people have tried. Goodness knows other people have tried to remake Rock Raiders. There's no way in hell anybody could have made such a faithful and beautiful and fun recreation of Rock Raiders if they didn't absolutely adore the original game. So, if I've not said it before, then allow me to... What the hell was that? I thought I was seeing the light at the end of the tunnel there for a minute. I thought that was it. I thought I was dead. Bloody hell. Yeah. I can't remember what I was talking about now. Manic Miners is incredible, right? Manic Miners is just fundamentally incredible. It is so well built. It is so well crafted. It has clearly been put together by somebody who loves Rock Raiders, and as a fan of Rock Raiders, that of course is a wonderful thing, because you are being immersed in a creation that has come about because somebody else loves the same thing that you love, and as a fan, that is just a wonderful thing, because not only is it an amazing thing for what it physically is, it's also an amazing thing because it shows you how much people, how much the rest of the fandom adores Rock Raiders and remembers it, right? Because when I found Manic Miners, I was absolutely shocked to find out that basically anybody still gave enough of a damn about this random, weird, half-baked, barely finished retro Lego game from 27 years ago, terrifyingly, to actually remake it, and to remake it this well, and then for a whole fandom of its own to develop around Manic Miners in terms of all of the community levels and all of the videos that people have made, all the, you know, the discussions and all of the everything that's built up out of this. It's just, it is lovely to see that this game is still loved enough and remembered enough in order to foster this kind of incredible thing to appear. I'm gonna have to get another bloody tunnel transport now, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yeah. Well, I guess I could leave the large mobiles cutter here, actually, couldn't I? Yeah, that would work fine. Go on, drop him off. There we go. Well, I think we've seen the rest of the map. Is there anything over here? There's a corner piece, but I don't actually think I'm going to bust through that. I don't think that's going to go anywhere, unless there's another corner piece behind it, but I don't know, I can't scan that far. Oh, blimey. Yeah. If you love something which is a bit weird and retro, then finding out that there are a lot of other people that also love it and love it enough to create something as wonderful as this and then share it with the community is a pretty crazy thing, if I'm honest, and a very gratifying thing to know that it's not just me that played that game to death growing up, that other people played that game to death growing up as well and loved it enough to want to continue playing it, but to play it more and to create something as wonderful as this in order to share it with the rest of the fandom and allow everybody to continue to experience Rock Raiders and to play it in new ways and get whole new levels of joy out of it that they otherwise wouldn't have. I just think that's a pretty damn special thing. I think that's pretty damn special. Oh, goodness. Well, we went 2.5 hours and the game still didn't crash. I did turn the crashing on, didn't I? I know it came up with that weird message about unpausing the game, and then the message seemed to go away because I was trying to scroll because I couldn't see the third line of it properly. Oh, blimey, I don't know. Well, we didn't get to see what the crashing was. I don't know how else I could... I sort of wish I'd known about it earlier, because then I'd have had it on for longer, and in terms of previous levels that we've done, I'd probably have seen a random crash by now. The trouble is with like getting the bit of footage for the petting of the big slug, that was fine, because I set the recording up to be ready to go, but I didn't actually start the recording, obviously, until I got to the point where I had found the big slug and I was ready to do it, so I turned the recording on, did it, and then turned the recording off so that it just had that little bit of footage. The problem is that I would just have to record playing, because there's no way I'd know when the crash is going to happen, obviously, so I just have to record possibly hours of me just playing the game, just playing the game, basically, till eventually the random crashing happened. So I am sorry that that didn't happen. But oh, there's that secret cutscene to watch, isn't it? I completely fucking forgot about that. I've completely forgotten. Oh, blimey, okay. I've got something quite exciting to look at now, actually. Okay. We need the tunnel transport to come back and get these last few crystals. Are we sitting on any at the moment? No, okay, good. So it's just those 4. So we'll let the tunnel transport come back, get these crystals, and then we'll go have a look at that, because that's going to be really interesting, because I'm really, really interested to see what that is. Oh, blimey. This takes me back actually to a comment I remember reading about on one of my videos about the game a long time ago, which said that there were two endings to the game, the original game that is, like a 100% ending and a non-100% ending. Except you couldn't get the 100% ending because one or two of the levels were bugged, and you couldn't get 100% on them. And in order to get the 100% ending, obviously you had to 100% every single level. So don't pick up any ore, you blithering idiot. Thank you. So I found that very interesting to hear, because I don't think I was aware of that before. Excuse me. So yeah, that was very interesting to find out about. I don't know what the difference would be. Presumably, people have like gone into the game and fiddled with the files or looked in the files in order to see what there was that you would get with the 100% ending. Maybe you get like a different cutscene at the end or something. But yeah, I feel like maybe we finally get to see that now with whatever is waiting for us. But there we go. I don't know if I lost a few crystals during that big battle. It's quite possible that a few monsters ate some crystals when they destroyed some buildings or vehicles, and then some managed to get into the walls and get away. But we're done. I know I've missed a few little bits here and there, but I can't be asked. Bye bye, Rocky Horror. It was a horror show. And rightly so.
Your efforts have been outstanding. You've collected enough energy crystals to get the Rock Raiders team back home. You're amazing. Mission complete.
Sweet. Indeedy. Cool. You daft bastard, Sparks. Funky music! A brilliant LEGO Rock Raiders remake, the best in the world. Yep. Oh goodness, and it's me, hello!
There is a planet bright and blue, I'm proud to call my home. It hangs out in the Milky Way next to a single sun. Sometimes a little chilly, but you get used to the cold. And it has kept on spinning since it's billions of years old. We've been away to deeper space and many years have passed. But now our mission is at end, we're heading home at last. With cargo full of minerals, we're rich and we are glad. The greatest adventure we've had. Earth, we're coming home. Back to the world where we belong. Keep swinging your big axe and singing the song. Earth, we're coming home.
There is no way to grasp the size of our universe. 100 billion galaxies from what we can observe, and every single one contains 100 billion stars, some 100,000 light years wide. Now that is pretty far. And round the stars are countless planets, all of them unique. A wondrous galactic soup of possibilities. As long as we can mine them, we are happy with our work. But still we long for Earth. Hey! Earth, we're coming home. Back to the world where we belong. Keep swinging your big axe and singing the song. Earth, we're coming home. Yeah, keep raiding your rocks and hold on to your socks. icy worlds and rocky horrors we will dig and drill. Some people say they're dangerous, but we just love the thrill. We aren't afraid of supernovas, they won't make a dent. And if we find some aliens, we'll make them our friends. The riches of the universe are bountiful indeed, as long as you know where to look and aren't consumed by greed. The riches make you realize there is no place like home, the pale blue dot of which we call our own. Earth, we're coming home, back to the world where we belong. Keep swinging your big backs and singing the song. Earth, we're coming home. I said, Earth, we are hungry and tired and cold. Earth, we're coming home.
You get a standing ovation for that one. If I had a hat to hand, I'd put it on so I could take it off. That was excellent. That was absolutely hilarious. That had all of the daft charm of retro LEGO games, and I loved every second of it. Oh my goodness. So, I'm guessing then, not that, this, here we go. Oh, what's that? What's that? What have I missed? I'm confused. I don't understand. I'm too tired to understand. Okay, so I'm guessing that's... Yeah, okay, that's the credits and the sing-song. And that's the closing cutscene we've just seen. And then what have I missed? I don't know. I can't quite make out the image. It does look like the bit where you're like looking at the profile of the LMS Explorer and there's the planet at the side just before the sun comes round. But then I don't know what else that would be. Oh, I have no idea, it doesn't matter. I have no idea, it doesn't matter. That was the best ending to any game I've ever seen in my life. Oh my goodness gracious, we have come so very far together. We've done the whole Remastered Campaign. We've done all of Bazmod, with all its crazy extra levels. And all of its weird resequencing to it. What was the name of the? What's the name of the mission? Tell me, what is the name of the mission that's driving me mad and I can't remember what it's called?
Frozen Frenzy.
Is that really what it's called? Really? I didn't think that's what it was called. Oh well, that's probably what I couldn't remember. What? What's that? What? I'm confused. What? Why is this? I have no. Why does it say it's green? It says I've done it all, but I clearly haven't. I know these are all old times, but I did that one in the
Fire and
no?
water.
Okay. Fine. Fine, it doesn't matter. I don't understand. There's video proof that I've done it all, so I don't give a damn. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We have been playing this game for over 5 years. This series has been going on for over 5 years. I still remember finding this game so long ago. I've been playing the original, and it had this funny bug in it, where you would have a few crystals stored, and then a monster would spawn, and then it would drain all of your crystals. Which was really bad timing, because of course it meant that you didn't have any fence to defend yourself from the monster which had just spawned, and your men either had to go off and recharge the crystals, which meant they weren't fighting the monster, or they'd fight the monster, which means they weren't recharging the crystals, while of course they were consuming oxygen. Oh, excuse me. Wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't hiccuping the whole way through it. And that was basically stopping me from getting any further than Frozen Frenzy, which is the first level which has any monsters in it. Because any time a monster would spawn, it would just drain all of the crystals, and then I wouldn't be able to carry on with the level, because not every level had a recharge theme in it in the original. I think every level does this time around. But yeah. But yeah, that happened, and I was trying to see less if there was a fix to it, because obviously that would probably involve going into the game and actually fiddling around with the files, which I'm not nearly intelligent enough to do. But instead just to see maybe if there was like something specifically which triggered it, which people knew about, which I could then try to avoid in order to prevent it from happening, so I could carry on playing the game that I loved. And I can't even remember how. I feel like maybe I was on the Rock Raiders United, I think that's what it's called, forum, and then somehow I ended up on the itch.io page for Manic Miners, and I didn't really know what the hell it was, but I had an idea that maybe this was going to be the most incredible thing in the world, because maybe it was somebody rebuilding from the ground up the game that I've probably loved more than any other game in my whole life. And I downloaded it, and for some daft reason I decided to record it, and then 5 years later here we are, like 47 videos later, and goodness knows how many hours of footage later. But yeah, Rock Raiders is a little bit special to me, because a lot of the games that I've loved for many years and I've known for a very long time, I sort of encountered when I was in my sort of early teen years, when I was sort of 12 to 14. That's when I started playing games like Fallout New Vegas and the Batman Arkham series, which are genuinely some of my favourite games I've ever played, and I will continue to play them for the rest of my life. I love them, they're amazing. But Rock Raiders is a little bit special, because Rock Raiders goes back even further than that. Rock Raiders goes back to probably when I was maybe 10 or even younger. The terrifying thing about Rock Raiders is it's just always been a fact of my life. In the same way that you can't remember when you learned to speak, or when you started to eat or sleep. They're just fundamental facts of life that have been there as far back and further back than your memory goes. Rock Raiders is the same way for me. I have no memory of ever playing Rock Raiders for the first time, or discovering the missions for the first time, or any of that, because it just goes back so very far further, to be honest with you, than my actual memory of events does. And I won't bore you with the details, but there were various events in my childhood which were not particularly cheerful, between the ages of sort of, 10 to 11. So to have something that goes further back than that is a bit special, because a lot of the media that I consumed in the years after that, sort of 12 to 14, was to kind of block all of that out and to distract me from the memories and pain. So part of the reason that I loved and enjoyed and have played games like Fallout New Vegas and the Batman Arkham series so much is because at that point in my life, I really needed something to just take me away from reality. And games have an amazing power to do that. And those games will always hold a special place in my heart for that. But then Rock Raiders is kind of unique because it goes back further than that, and almost everything that I can remember from that time and that I associate with that time has been marred and dirtied by those events. So to have one thing, to have one special thing from that younger part of my life which hasn't been soiled and has just remained pure and innocent and continuously enjoyable is a very special thing. which is why Rock Raiders will always hold an incredibly special place in my heart. Which is why it matters that much more to me to see somebody who also loves Rock Raiders enough to then create this incredible remake and then share it with the fandom so that we can all enjoy Rock Raiders that little bit more. I don't know what I'm rambling on about, and I'm sure it's of absolutely no interest to you, but the fact that you've got through 3 videos means or 3 hours of this video means you've probably already fallen asleep, so that's fine. As long as I don't do any more screaming, I won't wake you up, and you won't turn the video off. So yeah. Rock Raiders is special. Rock Raiders is special to me. And this remaster is incredibly special to me as well. But that is about it. That is all of the standard campaign, that is all of the Basmod campaign, that is all of the remaster campaign. I'm very grateful to everybody that said I should play the remaster campaign. You were absolutely right that I should do. I wasn't initially convinced that it was right to play the same set of levels for a 3rd time, but they were brilliant and I loved every second of it, so I'm really glad that you talked me into that. But yeah, this is a very special game. It's a very special game. Anyway, that's it. Maybe we'll come back one day and do some custom levels, but certainly for the time being, that is the end of Manic Miners. So I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed that. I had an absolute blast playing this. Thank you so much to the developer of this game. I think I speak on the behalf of the entire fandom when I say thank you for creating such a fun, faithful, and just honestly brilliant recreation of Rock Raiders. It is without parallel, and I'm just really impressed. And I know everybody who loves Rock Raiders would love this, so I hope that everybody who does love Rock Raiders gets a chance to play this, because it is absolutely amazing. So, with all of that said, I think I have rambled on enough. The game never crashed. Maybe that's a testament to how good the remaster is, maybe it's not, I don't know. Did I actually... I did set the crashing to go, didn't I? Oh. Maybe it didn't. It's gone back to being disabled. I'm pretty sure I set it to be enabled. Oh. I'm not convinced that actually came up before. Music suddenly got louder. Okay, I'm not actually convinced I had the random crashes on. Interesting. Anyway, none of that matters. Maybe one day we'll come back and play a custom level, and maybe then we'll get a random crash. I don't really know, but anyway. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for all of Manic Miners. It's been a wild ride, and I've had the absolute time of my life, and I've enjoyed it so much more because I have shared it with you. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.